Chapter 1945. Date, October 20th. Oh, okay, I'll keep an eye out for you. Xiaoka didn't have any suspicions after hearing what Lin said. The male thief wouldn't look for normal things so seriously, so it was normal that she hadn't even heard of some of them before. But, how do I contact you if I have any news? Xiaoka's eyes flashed with cunningness. As long as she got the male thief's contact number, she could call her often. Lin wanted to give her his number, but he remembered that it was registered with his ID. What if Xiaoka checked it and found out who he was? So Lin said, "How about this, I'll come back after a while." Okay then. Xiaoka was a little disappointed, but the male thief agreeing to come back was much better than never seeing him again. "I'll be going then." Lin saw the reluctance in Xiaoka's eyes and sighed. Okay. Xiaoka nodded. Lin turned around and walked towards the door. Male thief. Xiaoka couldn't help but call out again. What's wrong? Lin turned around. I like you. Xiaoka had said these words countless times in her dream. Although she'd confessed to Lin before, she couldn't help but say it again when she saw him again. Lin Yi's footsteps paused, but he didn't say anything. He shook his head and quickly left the room, disappearing without a trace. Xiaoka, on the other hand, stared at Lin Yi's disappearing silhouette, lost in thought. Lin Yi had no choice but to ask for Xiaoka's help. These 3 items were too precious, and although Fatty Lai had been asking around for them, there wasn't any news. The blue crystal was something that could only be found by chance, and as for the pure yellow jade, he didn't know where it was either. There was no news about Kai Gang either, so Lin Yi could only try his luck and ask for Xiaoka's help. After leaving the orphanage, Lin Yi went back to the car and took off his mask. He called Sun Jingyi directly. Jingyi, where are you? I'm in Songshan now. Lin Yi said, you're already here? I'm at home, tell me a place and I'll go right away. Sun Jingyi said, let's go to your home, some things can't be done in public. Lin Yi said, Sun Jingyi blinked and blushed. Some things can't be done in public? What did that mean? Could it be that Lin Yi wanted to? With that thought, Sun Jingyi couldn't help but blush. Could it be that Lin Yi wanted to exercise his right to let his lover do it? Let's call Wu Chintian too. Lin Yi couldn't see Sun Jingyi's expression, so he didn't know what she was thinking. Wu Chintian? Sun Jingyi was even more dumbfounded. Why would Lin Yi call Wu Chintian? Could it be that he wanted to do 3P? Xiao Xiao told her that she wanted to do 3P with Lin Yi. Could it be that Lin Yi really wanted to do it after tasting the sweetness? Giving Sun Jingyi to Lin Yi was fine, but giving it to Wu Chintian? Wasn't that asking for her death? Yeah, what's wrong? Lin Yi blinked, noticing that Sun Jingyi's tone wasn't right. That's not too good, right? Sun Jingyi may look like a strong woman in public, but in front of Lin Yi, she looked like a retard. Not good? That's right. Lin Yi thought about it. He wanted to ask Sun Jingyi about her practitioner's arts. Although Wu Chintian wasn't an outsider, it wouldn't be convenient. Lin Yi nodded. All right, I won't call him then. Phew. Sun Jingyi let out a breath of relief. That's not right. Lin Yi suddenly remembered that he didn't tell Sun Jingyi why he was looking for her. How could she know? So what did she mean by her words just now? With that thought, Lin Yi asked with a weird expression, Jingyi, you don't want me to call Wu Chintian, what do you mean? Didn't you want to do that with me? I'm not even ready yet, why are you looking for Wu Chintian? I'm not that kind of person. Sun Jingyi panicked when she heard that Lin Yi was looking for Wu Chintian again. The misunderstanding between the two was because they couldn't see each other. If Lin Yi could see Sun Jingyi, he would be able to guess what she misunderstood. And if Sun Jingyi could see the weird expression on Lin Yi's face, she would know that she misunderstood him. But they couldn't see each other's expressions, and they could only guess from their words. And so, the misunderstanding grew bigger and bigger, and Sun Jingyi exploded. Although Lin Yi was strong and she had feelings for him, but even if she had feelings for him, she couldn't just humiliate herself like that, could she? With him. Although she wasn't ready, she was willing. But with Wu Chintian, she might as well kill herself. Waff. Lin Yi didn't know what to do when he heard Sun Jingyi's sudden outburst, but he finally understood why Sun Jingyi misunderstood him. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Jingyi? What does this have to do with being promiscuous? I went to you to ask about House Sun's arts, and as for Wu Chintian, it was to discuss your future plans. But I thought that although Wu Chintian isn't an outsider, it's better to keep your arts a secret, so I didn't go to him. Did you misunderstand something? Sun Jingyi's face reddened even more. She wanted to find a hole to hide in. No way? She misunderstood? Furthermore, the misunderstanding was so thorough? How shameful! But luckily, Sun Jingyi knew that Lin Yi couldn't see her expression, so she coughed and said, I didn't misunderstand. What I mean is, I've never let anyone enter my room. Yes, only people I like can enter. So Wu Chintian can't come? Yes, that's it. Hearing Sun Jingyi's explanation, Lin Yi didn't purposely expose her. It was funny when he thought about it. Sun Jingyi thought that he was going to ask Wu Chintian to do it with her. Was he that shameless? Okay, can I come? Linist. You are my half-lover, so others can't come, but you can come. Sun Jingyi said a little embarrassedly. Although she didn't directly admit that Lin Yi was the one she liked, it was a silent agreement. Plentips. Chapter 1946. Heh, then you wait for me. Lin Yi found that Sun Jingyi, this little girl, was really interesting. On the surface, she seemed to be strong. In fact, she was still a little girl who hadn't grown up. Her disguise was just to protect herself. The fickleness of human relationships in a big family made her learn to protect herself from an early age. Then, Sun Jingyi nodded shyly. Her disguise had already been seen through by Lin Yi, so Sun Jingyi wouldn't be so tired to protect herself in front of Lin. She was like a wandering child who found a harbor to shelter from the wind. This feeling was very comfortable. Half an hour later, Lin Yi came to the community where Sun Jingyi rented. This was an apartment area. Although Lin Yi knew the address, he had never been here before. Parking the car downstairs, Lin Yi took the elevator upstairs and rang the doorbell of Sun Jingyi's house. After a while, Sun Jingyi's voice came from inside. Who is it? It's me, Lin Yi, said Lin. The door was opened, and Sun Jingyi looked at Lin Yi with some surprise. You're here. Lin Yi looked at Sun Jingyi, and a slight smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. This little girl was obviously wearing pajamas at home, but her face was carefully made up. Obviously, she dressed up for his arrival. This made Lin Yi feel surprised and helpless. Sun Jingyi, did it become real? Is it the pressure from the Sun family, or is it Sun Jingyi's own intention? Lin Yi didn't like the kind of purposeful interaction. If Sun Jingyi approached him on the idea of old man Sun, then Lin Yi would feel uncomfortable. Make yourself look more innocent. It's quite pleasing to the eye. It's much better than the mature look you used to have, Lin Yi said. The company has been sold. I have nothing to do. Of course, I won't dress up anymore. Sun Jingyi listened to Lin Yi's words and was a little happy. Am I really beautiful today? Indeed. Lin Yi nodded and said, but the next time I come, you don't have to dress up. There's no need. You're already pretty good looking. Sun Jingyi's thoughts were exposed by Lin Yi, and she immediately felt a little embarrassed. She said, I went out to buy food. That's why I put on makeup. Do you think it's because of you? Shameless. Hey, what about food? I happen to be a little hungry. Lin Yi said. Food. I've finished eating. Sun Jingyi snorted. Finished eating? Lin Yi looked at Sun Jingyi with a smile that wasn't a smile. I've really finished eating. I've thrown away the packaging. Sun Jingyi said. Book C Pavilion. Oh, where did you throw the packaging? Let me see what you're eating. I'll go buy it too. I don't know what to eat anyway. Lin Yi said seriously. Lin Yi, are you doing this on purpose? Why are you so annoying? Sun Jingyi saw that Lin Yi was deliberately making fun of her. She simply stopped pretending and said angrily, I dressed up for you, okay? Are you satisfied? Ugh. Lin Yi didn't expect to make Sun Jingyi go berserk twice in one day. He suddenly felt a little embarrassed. He touched his chin and smiled bitterly. Jingyi, I'm just joking, me too. Sun Jingyi said. Okay, let's get down to business. Right, can you transfer some of your true chi to me? Linist. My true chi? Transfer it to you? After Sun Jingyi was slightly stunned, Her face became extremely strange. Are you serious? What's wrong? Lin Yi saw Sun Jingyi's expression, and he faintly felt that there seemed to be something that he had neglected. When the people of our Sun family reach the first level, true qi can only be used by one person. If we can't reach the second level, then we can only transfer true qi to this person for the rest of our lives. Sun Jingyi said, "Don't you know?" Lin Yi had heard of this situation, but he ignored this condition before. He thought that it was okay for Sun Jingyi to transfer some true qi. But now it seemed that if he wanted Sun Jingyi's true qi, it was equivalent to binding Sun Jingyi's lifetime happiness. Before Lin Yi made up his mind to accept this girl, he definitely couldn't do such a reckless thing. Therefore, Lin Yi suddenly felt a little embarrassed. I forgot about this, but don't get me wrong. I just want to study your true qi. I don't mean anything else. I see. Sun Jingyi breathed a sigh of relief, but at the same time, she was a little disappointed. She was even thinking that if Lin Yi insisted, would she listen to him and transfer her true qi to him? In that case, she could rely on him openly because she had pinned her lifetime happiness on Lin Yi. She, Sun Jingyi, could only serve Lin Yi for the rest of her life. So, if after you transfer your true qi to me, your true qi will automatically become the same as mine, then the true qi that you produce in the future will automatically become this kind of true qi? Lin Yi suddenly thought of a very important question and asked quickly. That's right. Sun Jingyi nodded. This mental cultivation of our Sun family is very strange. It is completely an auxiliary mental cultivation. Once the true qi in my body becomes your true qi, then no matter how much true qi I have, it will be the same kind of true qi. So that's how it is. There was a hint of understanding and joy in Lin Yi's eyes. If it was really like what Sun Jingyi said, then there was no need for him to study Sun Jingyi's true qi. No wonder he felt that the true qi in Grandma Sun's mind didn't have any evil intentions, and there was a familiar feeling. It turned out that this feeling didn't come from Sun Jingyi, but from Faubert. Since Grandma Sun was Faubert's wife, then the true qi that came out of Grandma Sun was naturally the same as Faubert's true qi. After thinking about this, Lin Yi secretly scolded himself for being stupid. He actually gave up what was close at hand and sought what was far away. Didn't he know everything when he tested Faubert's true qi? Yeah, what's wrong? Sun Jingyi saw that Lin Yi seemed to be very happy, and she was somewhat puzzled. Hee, Jingyi, thank you, you helped me solve a big problem. Lin Yi laughed. So your Sun family's mental cultivation is so strange, no wonder I can't see through your strength. From the moment Lin Yi met Sun Jingyi, he couldn't see through her strength. It could only be said that Sun Jingyi's mental cultivation belonged to the swordsman, but it wasn't completely swordsman. She didn't have a strength level, it was completely an auxiliary mental cultivation. Well, it's nothing. Sun Jingyi shook her head. She didn't understand what she had helped Lin Yi with. Oh right, Jingyi, can you give me a copy of your mental cultivation? Lin Yi suddenly thought that if he let Grandma Sun continue, could she continue to help Faubert? Chapter 1947. Date, October 20th. This is possible, but only the people of our Sun family can practice the Heart Sutra. Others can't practice it. Sun Jingyi wasn't very secretive about the family's Heart Sutra. After all, the Sun family also gave this Heart Sutra to the people of the Wu family to practice, but it ended in failure. The final conclusion was that this Heart Sutra was only effective for the people of the Sun family. Others couldn't practice it. So in this way, this Heart Sutra wasn't important, and there was no confidentiality. The people who were in high demand were the children of the Sun family. It's okay. I just want to study it, Lin Yi said. Okay, then you wait. I'll send it to you via text message. As Sun Jingyi said this, she took out her mobile phone, found a file, and sent it directly to Lin. Lin Yi's mobile phone immediately sounded a notification that he had received an email. Lin Yi was a little speechless. In his opinion, these Inner Force Sutra were all written on bamboo slips and sheepskin scrolls. At the very least, it was a thread-bound book. Sun Jingyi's Heart Sutra was good, it was directly an e-book. However, this was also a product of the development of the times. Lin Yi thought that he was lagging behind. Originally, Lin Yi also wanted to help Sun Jingyi improve some strength, but he thought that if his true qi went to Sun Jingyi, would it cause changes to Sun Jingyi's true qi? If Sun Jingyi's true qi became the same as his own, then Lin Yi would be in trouble. Thank you. Lin Yi saved the Heart Sutra in his mobile phone and said sincerely, right, Jingyi, what are your plans for the future? Lin Yi knew that Sun Jingyi's company had been sold, and she had nothing to do at the moment. I don't know. I don't want to go back to the Sun family, and I don't want to work hard to start a business alone. Speaking of this, Sun Jingyi smiled self-deprecatingly and said, you also saw it. A girl with no background. I also don't have a strong man to protect me. My business is always bullied, just like last time. Huh, don't you have Wuxia and Xianxia helping you now? Whoever dares to bully you, that kid will slap them to death with one palm. Linny laughed. It's mainly because it's too tiring to manage a company alone. And now I don't need to prove anything. Sun Jingyi said, in the past, starting a business was for the Sun family to see. Let Grandpa and the others feel that I'm not just a victim of profit in the Sun family. Instead, he could be independent. But now I find that this idea is somewhat wrong. In any case, I can't do too much on my own after so many years. It's still a small company. Lin Yi knew about Sun Jingyi's pitiful life, so he nodded in silence. But you can't always stay here, right? I don't know. But, in this noble house meeting, I've understood something. Sun Jingyi said, that is, the strong are respected. In the eyes of the noble houses and hidden houses, only the strength of a practitioner represents everything. Thinking about it, it was laughable that I wanted to use business to prove my strength. That's right. The foundation of a noble house and hidden house is the strength and number of practitioners. Linny said, why, do you want to train too? Haven't I always been training? Jingyi smiled bitterly, thinking back to my grandpa's attitude during the meeting. He wanted me to marry Wuxia and Xianxia, but when he saw how you destroyed House Yu so domineeringly, he told me to get on your good side. But when he heard that you pissed off a hidden house, and they sent 3 Earth class after you, he froze my bank account and told me to stay away from you. At the end of the day, in their eyes, I'm still a commodity. I thought that Grandpa treated me differently, but even though he was nice to me, family isn't as important in the face of the family's interests. Jingyi smiled bitterly, thinking about Grandpa's attitude back then. How could Lin Yi not understand what Sun Jingyi was saying? Noble houses were the same as those sections. Thinking back to how excited Crystal Candy was when she found out about Xiaoxiao's constitution, and how she was willing to lower herself to talk terms with a mystic like him so that she could become the heir of the Ice Palace. Sometimes, it can't be helped. Your grandpa may be an old fox, but he did it for the sake of the family. Linny said, in an old man like him, the family's benefits are above everything else, so you can't say that he's wrong. Some things can't be right or wrong. Yes, so in order to escape this fate, I have to become a strong practitioner. Jingyi said. I want to work hard on my training. Once I reach the second stage of House Sun's arts, I'll be one of the core members of House Sunday. Even my grandpa won't make me do things I don't like anymore. If I reach the 5th stage, then I'll be able to transfer qi to any practitioner, and there won't be any restrictions. My identity will be different by then. Of course, the 5th stage is just a dream for House Sun, and no one has reached it yet. Jingyi said. Your arts are too weird, and you're not leveling up between sky, earth, mystic, and yellow, so I want to help you but I can't. Linny said, I can't raise your strength as fast as Wuxia and Xianxia and the others. I know. Sun Jingyi nodded and said, House Sun's arts can only be improved by absorbing qi from the surroundings. There's no other way. Lin Yi nodded. The energy in his body was pure energy, but it wasn't pure qi. It was pure qi that was converted from the qi of heaven and earth through the art of dragon mastery. Although this qi had the same effect as the qi of heaven and earth, and could be converted into other types of qi for others to use, the prerequisite was that the art of dragon mastery was the art of conversion. So, the all-purpose qi combined with the arts was equivalent to the qi of the surroundings, and could be used by others. It wasn't like the normal qi of the surroundings, which could be directly absorbed and refined by the practitioner. The two had the same effect, but the essence was different. If Sun Jingyi absorbed his qi, she would probably become like him. She didn't know the art of dragon mastery, so naturally, she couldn't transform qi. In this case, Sun Jingyi's qi could only be used by him in the future. To put it bluntly, Sun Jingyi's body was like an energy storage device. Her body could absorb the qi of the surroundings, and this qi could be absorbed and refined by other practitioners. Of course, this was only Lin Yi's guess. Lin Yi still had to research to know the specifics. Chapter 1948. Date, October 20th. What about your other brothers and sisters? Will they become the bargaining chip of the Sun family's interests? Lin Yi asked. Have no father or mother. If someone needs to be sacrificed, naturally, I will be the first to be sacrificed. Sun Jingyi smiled bitterly. Moreover, I am relatively powerful among the cultivators of this generation. I have cultivated to the great perfection of the first level. It is just in line with the conditions for other families to marry the Sun family, so, your parents. I heard from Sun Yikai. When Lin Yi said this, he paused and didn't continue. This topic was just casually mentioned by Lin Yi because of Sun Jingyi's words. But after saying it, he regretted it a little. After all, this was someone else's sad past. It was a bit abrupt for Lin Yi to mention it. They're all gone now, it's fine, I'm used to it. Jingyi smiled bitterly. I was too young back then, I didn't even get to see my parents. The only thing I know is this little jade pendant they left me. Lin Yi said, but I was too young back then. As Sun Jingyi said this, she took off the small jade pendant on her chest and rubbed it in her hand. It could be seen that she cherished this jade pendant very much. Pure topaz. Seeing Sun Jingyi's jade pendant, Lin Yi's eyes slightly focused. He didn't expect that the jade pendant on Sun Jingyi's chest was actually pure topaz. It was one of the materials he needed to refine the jade pendant space. Pure topaz? You know it? Sun Jingyi saw Lin Yi's excited expression and suddenly froze. Even if the material of this jade pendant was precious, it seemed that Lin Yi wouldn't be so surprised, right? Can I have a look? Asked Lin Yi. Of course. Sun Jingyi nodded and handed the jade pendant to Lin Yi. It really is pure topaz. Lin Yi looked at the pure yellow jade pendant in his hand and took a deep breath. Although he really wanted to keep it for himself, he also knew that this was the only thing Sun Jingyi's parents had left for her. Even if he needed it, he would be too embarrassed to ask Sun Jingyi for it. However, Lin Yi was still very fond of the jade pendant in front of him. You seem to like this jade pendant? Sun Jingyi saw the possessiveness in Lin Yi's eyes and was very surprised. Lin Yi did not lack money. Although this pure topaz was rare, it was not a priceless treasure. In the eyes of these big families and cultivators, it was nothing. Perhaps this pure topaz could be sold for a good price at the auction, but in the eyes of the Sun family and Old Man Sun, it was just a good accessory. These people didn't even covet it. Lin Yi nodded and didn't hide it. To tell you the truth, I need pure topaz to refine something. This pure topaz, if it wasn't something your parents left for you, I would definitely ask you for it. Sun Jingyi didn't expect Lin Yi to need pure topaz. Although she wanted to help Lin Yi, she thought that this jade pendant was the only thing left for her by her parents. If she wanted to find clues about her parents, she could only use this jade pendant. Therefore, Sun Jingyi really couldn't give it to Lin Yi. I'm sorry. I want to find news of my parents through this jade pendant one day, so, I understand, that's why I said that. Lin Yi picked up the pure topaz and prepared to return it to Sun Jingyi. Although there was still a trace of reluctance, Lin Yi could still pick it up and put it down. However, when Lin Yi just wanted to return the jade pendant to Sun Jingyi, he couldn't help but let out an sound. What's wrong? Sun Jingyi didn't understand why Lin Yi was suddenly surprised. This jade pendant. Lin Yi was in desperate need of pure topaz, so he checked it more carefully. Just when he wanted to return it to Sun Jingyi, he suddenly found that there was a very small crack on this jade pendant. If it weren't for Lin Yi's sharp eyes and the direction of the light, it would be absolutely difficult to find it. What's wrong? Sun Jingyi looked at Lin Yi's strange face and asked quickly. This jade pendant seems to be two halves put together? Lin Yi put the jade pendant in front of his eyes and carefully observed it for a long time before saying so. Put together? Sun Jingyi was slightly stunned. She quickly moved her head over and followed Lin Yi's gaze to the jade pendant. She couldn't help but exclaim because, on this jade pendant, there was indeed a small line. This line wasn't irregular, but it was straight, as if it was cut and then pasted back together. Sun Jingyi looked at the crack on the jade pendant in surprise. She even forgot her current position, and her face was close to Lin Yi's. It was a little ambiguous. It seems that it was really cut and then pieced back together, but it was done very carefully. It's not obvious. If I didn't desperately need pure topaz, I probably wouldn't be able to see it so carefully. Lin said. This crack couldn't be seen without looking at it carefully against the light. This discovery surprised Sun Jingyi. It could be said that she grew up wearing this jade pendant. Although she often played with it, she didn't find the crack on this jade pendant. In Sun Jingyi's eyes, this should be a keepsake, so she didn't think that this jade pendant was two pieces stuck together. Then, why did he do this? Could it be that this jade pendant was broken before and repaired? Sun Jingyi also looked at the jade pendant in Lin Yi's hand strangely. I don't know, but the possibility of natural damage is relatively small. Even if this jade pendant is broken, it is impossible to fall into such a neat two halves. Moreover, this crack is in the middle of the side of the jade pendant. How powerful is this to have such an effect? Lin Yi shook his head and denied Sun Jingyi's guess. So you're saying that it's man-made? Jingyi asked. It's very likely, but I don't know why it was done. Lin Yi said, but I have a speculation. What speculation? Sun Jingyi asked anxiously. It was related to the news of her parents. She was naturally very anxious. If I guessed correctly, there should be something in this jade pendant. Lin Yi said, this jade pendant was cut by a superb method, and then repaired together. Maybe something was placed in this jade pendant? So, there may be something left for me by my parents? Sun Jingyi listened to Lin Yi's words and suddenly became a little excited. Of course, this is just my speculation. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Moreover, this jade pendant is broken. Obviously, it is not easy to repair. But I really don't want your pure topaz. Lin Yi's words caused Sun Jingyi to roll her eyes. Of course, I know you don't. If you explain like this, it seems like you are exposing yourself. Chapter 1949. Date, October 20th. Hehe. Lin Yi was a little embarrassed and said, okay, I'll return it to you. As Lin Yi spoke, he turned his head and saw Sun Jingyi's neckline. He saw a touch of spring inside. Because when Sun Jingyi took off the jade pendant, she unbuttoned a button on her shirt, so the spring inside the neckline could be easily seen. My chest is better than the jade pendant? Sun Jingyi took the jade pendant, but she saw Lin Yi's lustful gaze. However, what surprised Sun Jingyi was that she didn't feel disgusted with Lin Yi's gaze, so she couldn't help but tease. This. Lin Yi was exposed by Sun Jingyi, and he was very embarrassed. He laughed and said, they are all very good. Which one is the prettiest? Jingyi asked, not giving up. You're the best. Lin Yi smiled. He and Sun Jingyi were together. From the beginning, they had been joking all the way until now. There were no taboos, so they could let it go. That's more like it. You have good taste as a lover. Sun Jingyi snorted. You help me crush this jade pendant. If there is really something inside, I'll give this jade pendant to you. I only want the thing inside. Jingyi, I'm just saying. You don't have to worry about it. This is something your parents left for you. How can I destroy it and ask for it? Lin Yi said sternly, moreover, I'm just guessing. I can't say if there is anything in it. Of course, I know you are not that kind of person. I really want to know if there is a secret in it. Jingyi said. There's definitely something strange about this pendant, so I'm getting impatient myself. If there really is something in there, then it must be a clue my parents left for me. I have to get it. Looking at Sun Jingyi's determined gaze, Lin Yi knew that she wasn't just saying. She really wanted to know if there were any secrets in the jade pendant. Therefore, after pondering for a moment, Lin Yi nodded and agreed. Okay, but it's better to find a professional to handle this kind of thing. Master Guan had a friend who was an expert in jade carving. Master Guan asked him to help him. He should be able to repair it. You don't want this jade pendant? Lin Yi's reply made Sun Jingyi very surprised. This is something your parents left for you. No matter how much I want it, I can't take it for myself, right? Lin Yi said with a smile. Well, if there's something in there. If you don't have it, just fix it? Sun Jingyi said. Thank you in advance. Hearing Sun Jingyi's insistence, Lin Yi didn't refuse again. After all, he really needed this pure topaz. In Sun Jingyi's home, Lin Yi first called Guan Shuemin and asked him to give him the address of his old friend. Shuemin, naturally, told Lin Yi where his old friend lived without hesitation. He told the old friend that he had a friend who was both a teacher and a friend coming to visit, and that he needed Shuemin's help. After calling Guan Shuemin, Lin Yi called Bai Weido. If he went to visit Guan Shuemin's old friend tonight, he might not be able to make it back to Shueshing tomorrow. He asked Bai Weido to help him ask Boss Bai for half a day off. Bai Weido already knew that Lin Yi had passed Boss Bai's test. So for Lin Yi's leave, Bai Weido didn't hesitate to agree. Otherwise, without Boss Bai's permission, even if he was the class monitor, he wouldn't dare to simply agree. Let's go, we'll visit Mr. Liu tonight. Lin Yi said to Sun Jingyi after the phone call. All right. Jingyi was very impatient as well. She wanted to know what secrets were hidden within the pendant. So when Lin Yi called, she had already changed her clothes. Your clothes are similar to a student's. Now you look much more compatible with me, Lin Yi said while looking at Sun Jingyi with a smile. Yeah, to be your half-lover? You have to be more compatible, otherwise people will think that you're my sugar baby. Sun Jingyi said with a smile. Then when can I be your complete lover? Lin Yi asked with a smile. Complete lover. Hee, it still needs to be observed. Sun Jingyi said. With Sun Jingyi, Lin Yi had a relaxed feeling that he had never felt before. The jokes between the two were also unrestrained, and Lin Yi didn't have to deliberately avoid anything. Just like when he looked at Sun Jingyi's chest, Sun Jingyi didn't think of shyness or anger, but asked him if he looked good. The old friend was called Lu Weishan, a retired professor of Songjiang Industry University. He lived in the family area of Songjiang Industry University. Lin Yi set the navigation, started the car, and went straight to Songjiang City. When they came out from Sun Jingyi's house, it was already 6:00 in the evening. Both of them hadn't eaten yet. Lin Yi didn't have to eat, but Sun Jingyi was worried about the secret in the jade pendant, so she didn't have the mood to eat. The car belonged to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, so when they got on the highway, Lin Yi drove at the speed limit. Chapter 1950. Date, October 20th. Looking at the disappearing Jeep Cherokee, the young man started to slow down. He knew he couldn't overtake it anymore. On a professional track, with the car's performance, overtaking the Jeep Cherokee shouldn't be a problem, but not here. No, I can't catch up. How can a Jeep drive so fast? Is he crazy? The young man frowned. He couldn't understand. Who was this person? It wasn't a professional sports car, but an off-road vehicle could reach 300 kilometers per hour. It was unbelievable. Bro, if that person represented our family in the competition, would our family gain more benefits in the upcoming Hidden House Summit? The young man wasn't thinking about how the Jeep could go so fast, he was thinking about the bigger picture. Yeah, if we let this person compete, we might win. The young man's eyes lit up. But we don't know his identity. We'll get someone to get the surveillance footage from the toll station and check the owner. The young man sighed and said, let's figure out his identity first. If we can work together, then that's the best. If he's related to our opponent, then our family will have an opponent at this summit. Okay. The young man nodded. Lin Yi didn't know that his driving skills were being watched as he continued to rush toward Songjiang. Sun Jingyi looked at the blurry scenery outside the car window and thought it was unbelievable. Wasn't this too fast? But she didn't feel scared. Was it because the person driving was Lin Yi? How can you drive so fast? Sun Jingyi was curious. This isn't a professional sports car. Otherwise, it could be even faster. Lin Yi said, there's nothing strange about it. I can even fly a plane. Have you seen a plane race before? You can race a plane? Sun Jingyi realized that the Lin Yi she knew was just the tip of the iceberg. Other than being a practitioner, he seemed to know a lot of things that she didn't understand. For example, medical skills. If there's a chance, I'll bring you around and you'll know. Lin Yi said indifferently. Lin Yi took less than an hour to reach the destination that was supposed to take 2 hours. When the car entered Songjiang Industry University, it was past 7 o'clock in the evening. The car was stopped at the entrance of the family area. Lin Yi was neither a student nor a teacher here. Therefore, they didn't talk much nonsense with the guard. They parked directly in the parking space at the entrance of the family area and walked to Lu Weishan, Elder Lu's home with Sun Jingyi. He rang the doorbell. After a while, an old man's voice rang out. "Who is it?" "Hello, Elder Lu. I'm Lin. Elder Guan introduced me to you," Lin Yi said respectfully. "Oh, you must be Lin Yi. Please come in." With that, the electronic door opened and Lin Yi brought Sun Jingyi upstairs. Lu Weishan had already opened the door and waited for Lin. "Elder Lu, I'm sorry to bother you so late," Lin Yi said apologetically. "Huh, don't say that. This old man has nothing to do all day long. My son and daughter-in-law have settled abroad. My godson and daughter aren't around. I have nothing to do every day. I just want to find something to do." Lu Weishan retired at home. As he said, there was nothing to do after dinner every night. "Then I won't be polite." Lin Yi came in and said to Lu Weishan, "My name is Lin. This is my friend Sun Jingyi. I'm here to trouble Elder Lu. I heard from Elder Guan that you're looking for pure topaz, right? I've already asked my friend in the jade industry to help you inquire, but there's no news yet. Don't worry. If there's news, I'll inform Elder Guan immediately. You don't have to come in person," Lu Weishan said. "Elder Lu, I'm here this time for another matter." As Lin Yi said this, he handed Sun Jingyi's jade pendant to Lu Weishan and said, "Elder Lu, look at this jade pendant. Oh, pure topaz?" Lu Weishan saw that the jade pendant in Lin Yi's hand was pure topaz at a glance. He said with some surprise, "Have you found pure topaz?" "I found it, but this jade pendant is the only token that Sun Jingyi's parents left for her." As Lin Yi said this, he couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. "I understand." Lu Weishan smiled slightly. "Then what do you want to do with this jade pendant?" "Elder Lu, look carefully at this jade pendant," Lin Yi said. "Look carefully?" Lu Weishan picked up the jade pendant and looked at it carefully against the light in the living room. But the next moment, Lu Weishan said with surprise, "This jade pendant is pieced together? It's a piece of jade that was cut and then pieced together again." "Elder Lu, you noticed it too?" Lin Yi nodded. "The piecing method is very advanced. If I don't look carefully, I really can't see it." Lu Weishan said, "Little E, what do you mean by showing me this jade pendant? Elder Lu, can you cut this jade pendant again? It's best not to damage the jade pendant. I suspect that there's something hidden in it. Moreover, if there's nothing in it, it's best to piece it back together." Lin Yi said, "Oh, this is not a problem." Lu Weishan nodded without thinking. Obviously, this matter was not difficult for Lu Weishan. Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi were delighted after listening to Lu Weishan's words. They didn't expect such a complicated craft to be no problem in Lu Weishan's eyes. "Old man, what are you doing? There are guests in the house. Why are you still standing at the door?" While talking, an old lady with a kind face came over. Obviously, she was Lu Weishan's wife. "Hee, I forgot to enter the house when I was talking at the door. Old lady, you go and make some tea. These two children, follow me to my study room. I will help you remove this jade pendant now." Lu Weishan finished talking to the old lady and turned to Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi. "Now, if it's troublesome, you don't have to do it today. Tomorrow is fine too." Lin Yi said, "It's okay. I'm idle now anyway." Lu Weishan waved his hand and said, "I still want to find something to do." Hearing Lu Weishan's insistence, Lin Yi didn't say anything else. Perhaps Lu Weishan really couldn't stay idle. Looking at his energetic appearance, Lin Yi knew that he was in good health. Lin Yi wasn't afraid that he would be too tired from working at night. In the study room, Lu Weishan sat on the workbench skillfully. He put the jade pendant under the microscope and observed the lines on it. Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi didn't dare to disturb him. They sat on the sofa and waited quietly. Chapter 1951. Date, October 20th. After a while, Lu Weishan's wife, Chu Huifang, came into the study with a cup of fragrant tea. Two kids have some tea. When old Lu is busy, he forgets about other things. Thank you, Grandma. Lin Yi took the teacup and said politely. You're welcome. I'm going out to watch TV. If you need more water, just call me. Don't be shy. Chu Huifang said. You're busy. Don't worry about us. Lin said. Chu Huifang went out. Lu Weishan was just like what she said. When he was busy, he would forget about other things. However, Lin Yi had to admit that Lu Weishan's technical level was great. The jade pendant was quickly fiddled within Lu Weishan's hands. Lin and Sun Jingyi sat quietly and waited. They didn't talk because they were afraid that their words would affect Lu Weishan. After about 2 hours, the jade pendant was cut open. However, Lu Weishan also exclaimed in surprise, Hey, there's really something inside? There's really something inside? Lin Yi didn't expect his and Sun Jingyi's speculation to become a fact. Yes, this jade pendant is hollow. I have to cut it carefully. I have to cut along 4 circles to ensure that the thing inside is not destroyed. Lu Weishan said, but it's more difficult to do so. It may not be completed in a day or 2. Don't bother. Sun Jingyi suddenly said, Elder Lu, since there's something inside, it's fine as long as the thing inside is intact. It doesn't matter if the jade pendant outside is destroyed. Since Sun Jingyi already knew that there was something inside the jade pendant, then the jade pendant was not so important. It could be said that the jade pendant outside was only used to protect the thing inside. As long as the thing inside was taken out, then the jade pendant would be useless. Bubble. Book asterisk. Moreover, Sun Jingyi also decided to give the jade pendant to Lin. According to Lin Yi, it seemed that it didn't matter to him if the jade pendant was broken. He just wanted to use the jade pendant as a material to refine something. However, Sun Jingyi didn't ask much. Destroy it? Lu Weishan was slightly surprised. If it's destroyed, it can't be restored. It doesn't matter. I just want what's inside. The jade pendant will be given to Lin, Sun Jingyi said. Lin Yi, can this jade pendant be damaged? Lu Weishan looked at Lin Yi in surprise. Lin Yi said, as long as it's pure topaz, it's fine, no matter if it's whole or broken. Lin Yi was going to use it to refine the space in the jade pendant. When the time came, it would be broken, so it didn't matter if it was broken or intact. So that's the case. That's easy. I have a few friends who used to carve pure topaz. The leftover pieces of broken jade are kept. I seem to be able to find some here. If you only want these broken pieces, then I can help you collect some. Lu Weishan listened to Guan Xuemin's words before and thought that Lin Yi wanted a whole piece of pure topaz. After all, everyone who asked for jade wanted a whole piece of pure topaz. Lu Weishan had never heard of anyone asking for broken pieces of jade. That's great. Lin Yi was suddenly surprised and happy. Sun Jingyi's pure topaz wasn't big. Lin Yi was afraid that it couldn't meet the refining conditions of the jade pendant. After all, Lin Yi had a qigong deviation because he replaced the body-tempering medicine last time. This time, when refining the space in the jade pendant, he must be more careful. When the number of raw materials was not enough, Lin Yi wouldn't easily try. Otherwise, if the raw materials went blind, it would be a small matter. If the jade pendant space was ruined, then it wouldn't be fun. But my remaining small pieces of broken jade should be kept in the self-sealing bag in the warehouse. I can't find them today. I can only help you find them slowly, Lu Weishan said, because there are too many things in the warehouse. It doesn't matter. There's no hurry, Lin said. In addition to the pure topaz, Lin Yi also needed color steel and blue crystal powder. These 2 things weren't gathered yet. Even if Lin Yi got the pure topaz now, it would be useless, so he wasn't in a hurry. Well, if that's the case, then I will directly break this jade pendant, Lu Weishan said. But Sun Jingyi nodded. She also couldn't wait to know what was in the jade pendant. It wasn't cut according to the lines, but it was dismantled by force. As long as the things inside were intact, it would be much easier. Lu Weishan directly used the cutting knife to cut around the jade pendant a few times, and the things inside the jade pendant were exposed. Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi were staring at the jade pendant in Lu Weishan's hand without blinking. Lin Yi was also very curious about the things inside the jade pendant, so he naturally wouldn't let it go at this time. Lu Weishan chiseled a few more times, and then used a pair of tweezers to pull slightly inside the jade pendant. He pulled out a folded piece of silk. The silk was very soft and thin. It was folded into a small piece and hidden in the jade pendant. If it wasn't for Lin Yi's accidental discovery, perhaps this piece of silk would have stayed in the jade pendant for a long time. This is it. After Lu Weishan pulled out the jade pendant, he didn't open it. Instead, he directly put it on the table and said to Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi, "Thank you, Elder Lu." Lin Yi quickly thanked him. It could be seen that Lu Weishan was an upright person. He didn't seem to have any interest in the content of the jade pendant. Instead, he turned to collect the pure topaz that was cut into small pieces on the workbench. "It's nothing. It's just a piece of cake." Lu Weishan said indifferently, "Jingyi, open it and take a look." Lin said, "Then." Sun Jingyi looked at the jade pendant on the table, and she was very excited. This small piece of silk might have recorded the story of her parents and the mystery of her life experience. Regarding her parents, Sun Jingyi had asked her grandfather many times, but her grandfather avoided talking about it. Although Sun Jingyi was curious, she also saw that her grandfather might have some difficulties, so she didn't ask again. At this time, to be able to find clues from a piece of silk, Sun Jingyi's hands were slightly trembling. Carefully picking up the jade pendant, Sun Jingyi slowly opened it. She thought that this should be a letter written to her by her parents, but what she saw was a map. In Sun Jingyi's view, this jade pendant shouldn't be a letter. It should be a kind of cultivation method, but she didn't expect it to be a map. This made her have an inexplicable feeling. She wanted to ask Lin Yi's opinion, but when she turned her head, she found that Lin Yi didn't look over. Sun Jingyi knew that Lin Yi might be trying to avoid suspicion. "Lin Yi, look at this. This is a map." Sun Jingyi took the initiative to hand the silk pendant in her hand to Lin Yi and said. Since Sun Jingyi showed it to him, then Lin Yi didn't stand on ceremony. He reached out and took the silk pendant. Target equals _blank. Chapter 1952. As expected, a map came into view, but the next moment, Lin Yi's face turned into an expression of extreme shock. "This map!" Lin Yi exclaimed subconsciously. "What's wrong? Is there something wrong with this map?" Sun Jingyi asked curiously. "This map, didn't you notice? It's only half of the map, not the whole." Lin Yi pointed at the edge of the map and said to Sun Jingyi, "As expected, this map is half." Sun Jingyi looked at where Lin Yi was pointing and saw that the edge of the map wasn't finished, as if it had been cut neatly, but what shocked Lin Yi wasn't that it was half of the map, but that Lin Yi had the other half of the map in his hands. After the test, Lin Yi and Zhao Qikuan met a crazy weirdo in a cave, and he was the one who gave Lin Yi the map. The same material, the same drawing style, the same color. Lin Yi was completely sure that the half of the map in his hands was originally a whole map, and then it was cut in the middle. "Lin Yi, why is your face so weird?" Sun Jingyi looked at Lin Yi and asked curiously. "It's not that my face is weird, but..." Lin Yi couldn't help but smile bitterly, hesitating. After all, the map wasn't his. It could be said that the weirdo had left it in his hands. But now, he was sure that the weirdo had some sort of connection with Sun Jingyi's parents. Could it be that Sun Jingyi's parents were the weirdo's disciples? Otherwise, why would Sun Jingyi have that half of the map? And the weirdo had said that the other half of the map was in the hands of his disciple. So, since this thing was related to Sun Jingyi, Lin Yi didn't hide it anymore and said, "Because, in my hands, there's another half of the map." Sun Jingyi looked at Lin Yi in surprise. She didn't expect that Lin Yi was surprised because Lin Yi had the other half of the map in his hands. This answer left her at a loss. Lin Yi had the map? Where did his map come from? He knew my parents? I will explain this to you slowly. The map is not with me. It is in Donghu's villa. Lin Yi said, "I will find it for you after I go back." Okay. Sun Jingyi felt that it was a little unbelievable. She had just found half of the map in the jade pendant, and the other half appeared in Lin Yi's hands. Wasn't this too much of a coincidence? However, when he thought about it, he was quite lucky. If this map was in the hands of someone else, it would be impossible for them to return it to him so easily. However, Lin Yi didn't seem to have any intention of keeping it for himself. Okay, it's all collected. Lu Weishan smiled and handed a self-sealing bag to Lin Yi and said, I will pay attention to the other pure topaz broken jade for you. As for this map, I won't participate. Thank you, Elder Lu. Lin Yi quickly took the self-sealing bag. He said with surprise and joy. Well, it's getting late. You should go back early. I think you have more important things to do. Lu Weishan said, I won't keep you. When I find the broken jade, I will contact you again. Okay, Elder Lu, then we will leave. Lin Yi nodded and left Elder Lu's residence with Sun Jingyi. It could be seen that Sun Jingyi seemed to have a lot of words to say to him, so Lin Yi didn't do too much. After going downstairs and leaving the family area and getting in the car, Sun Jingyi couldn't wait to ask, Lin Yi, tell me, how did you get this half of the map? Do you know my parents? How can I know them? Lin Yi said with some helplessness, if I knew them, why wouldn't I tell you? This map of mine is actually not mine. It was given to me by someone else. Someone else? Sun Jingyi said, who is that? It's a strange man like an old madman. As Lin Yi said this, he told Sun Jingyi about the scene of encountering the strange man in the cave after returning from the Ice Palace trial. Then, he said, at that time, the strange man regarded me as his apprentice and gave me this map. Then, he asked me for the other half of the map and took me on a treasure hunt. You know, I didn't want to keep this thing for myself. I wanted to find a chance to return it to him, but he ran away in the middle of the night. So, the apprentice of the strange man may be my father? Sun Jingyi suddenly thought of the origin of the map on her body. It's possible, but even if it's not, it's still a big deal. Lin Yi said, but now, since you also have half of the map, I will give this map to you. Don't you want to know what treasure is in this map? Sun Jingyi looked at Lin Yi with some surprise. She didn't know why Lin Yi gave it to her so easily. Whatever treasure there is, it belongs to your father and the strange man. Since this jade pendant is with you, it's yours now. Lin Yi said with a smile, if it was someone else, I might really snatch it, but you are my lover. Of course, I won't snatch it from you. Thank you. Sun Jingyi said sincerely, actually, I don't really want that treasure. I just want to find some clues about my parents. I really don't like the current Sun family. They are too utilitarian. Everything they do is for the family's benefit. Since the strange man is a heaven stage master, then the treasure, he said, is definitely not bad. After you find it, it may be good for you. Lin Yi said, it's just that I don't know where this map is. It should be a map near a certain mountain range, but it is not marked on it. If you want to find it, it's best to compare the situation on this map with the maps of other mountains. It could be seen that Sun Jingyi couldn't wait to find the place on the map. But Lin Yi understood how she was feeling. If it were him in her shoes, he'd be rushing to look for clues as well when he suddenly received news of his parents' whereabouts. All the way back to Dongha, Lin Yi parked the car at the door of the villa and asked, Jingyi, do you want to go in and sit down? I won't go. Sun Jingyi hesitated and said, it's already past 1 o'clock in the evening. It's too late. You give me the map. I will find a hotel to stay in. Tomorrow, I will rent a house in Dongha and study this map. Chapter 1953. Date, October 20th, that's good. Lin Yi nodded. At this time, the Miss and Shu should be asleep. It wasn't convenient to disturb them, so he said, then wait for me. Lin Yi got off the car and entered the mansion. As expected, the Miss and Shu were asleep, but Faubert and Grandma's son hadn't rested yet. The two of them were sitting on the sofa and chatting. Faubert seemed to be telling Grandma's son stories from when they were young. Little E, you're back. Faubert saw Lin Yi come in and was surprised. Lin Yi went to help Grandma's son ask about the Sun family's mental cultivation. Faubert was naturally happy to see him back. Although Faubert didn't think that Lin Yi would come back on the same day, he still waited for Lin Yi with Grandma's son until it was very late. Moreover, they were also talking about things from when they were young. As they chatted, they lost track of time. In the blink of an eye, it was already 1 o'clock. Faubert, you guys haven't slept yet? Lin Yi was a little surprised. Not yet. How is it, little E, about Luo Yin? Although Faubert felt that it wasn't good for Lin Yi to ask him about these things when he just got home, he still asked because he was worried about Grandma Sunday. It's done, but there's something I need to do now. Wait for me for a while, we'll talk when I come back. Lin Yi smiled. But when Faubert heard that there was news, he was immediately excited and nodded repeatedly. Grandma Sun's eyes also flashed a trace of anticipation. Before, Faubert told her so many things from the past, but she couldn't remember anything. This feeling was very uncomfortable. If Lin Yi could help her recover her memory, it would be really great. Lin Yi returned to the room and found the half of the map from the cabinet in the room. Then, he quickly left the mansion and went to the car. He said to Sun Jingyi, "This is it. Take a look and see if it's one of them." Sun Jingyi excitedly took the half of the map that Lin Yi handed over and put it together with the half in her hand. The result was exactly the same as before. It really is ill. Jingyi's breathing quickened as she looked at the map in her hands. Perhaps this map would be able to help them. He would be able to find clues about his parents. Let me send you to the hotel. You can study it slowly when the time comes, Lin Yi said with a smile as he looked at Sun Jingyi, who was engrossed in the map. I'm sorry, I was a little anxious. Sun Jingyi quickly said. It's nothing if it were me. It will be the same. Lin Yi shook his head and started the car. There was a 3-star hotel nearby called Shueshang Hotel. It was developed by the same developer as Shueshang District, and the environment was not bad. The price was not expensive. Of course, this hotel was targeted at young couples. If the price was too expensive, ordinary people would not be able to afford it. After sending Sun Jingyi to the hotel, when Sun Jingyi got off the car, she was a little hesitant. She seemed to have something to say. What's wrong? Lin Yi asked curiously. If I find the location of this map, can you accompany me? Can you come with me for a bit? Jingyi knew that this request was a little too much, but she couldn't help but think about it. Lin Yi was the only one who could go with her. Looking at Sun Jingyi's expectant eyes, Lin Yi hesitated and said, "Well, if I have nothing to do, I will accompany you. Actually, I also want to know what the treasure that the weird man said is." Great. When Sun Jingyi heard Lin Yi agree, she was a little excited. "If that treasure is useless to me, I will give it to you." "Oh, that's not necessary. I don't want any reward for accompanying you. I just regard you as my friend," said Lin Yi. "Just a friend?" Sun Jingyi squinted her eyes. "Lovers should have some substantial progress, right?" Lin Yi also looked at Sun Jingyi with a smile. "Oh." When Lin Yi was unprepared, Sun Jingyi quickly kissed the side of Lin Yi's face. Then her face was obviously red, but she thought that Lin Yi wouldn't see it because the sky was dark. She pretended to be calm and said, "Is it okay now?" Lin Yi didn't guard against Sun Jingyi, so she succeeded in a sneak attack. He touched the cheek that was kissed, and he suddenly felt a little dumbfounded. Is this playing with fire? It was just a joke. Now, the relationship between the two people seems to be even more unclear than before. However, Lin Yi often joked with Sun Jingyi. At this time, after being kissed, Lin Yi also let it go. "Isn't this too little? Why don't I stay here tonight?" "Go to hell." Sun Jingyi was joking with Lin. At this time, when she heard that Lin Yi was actually asking for a foot after taking an inch, her heart suddenly tightened. "I am not ready yet, and he is already getting a room?" So Sun Jingyi subconsciously retorted and was about to get out of the car. However, when she looked up and saw Lin Yi's evil and mischievous smile, Sun Jingyi knew that she was fooled. She snorted and said, "Then you can come up." "You really want me to go up?" Lin Yi asked with a smile. "Let's go. I'm going to study the map." Sun Jingyi found that in front of Lin Yi, it seemed that she had never taken advantage of him. It seemed that she had taken advantage of him every time, but in fact, Lin Yi didn't take her seriously at all. Seeing that Sun Jingyi entered the hotel safely, Lin Yi turned around and left, returning to the villa. After returning, Lin Yi found that not only did Faubert and Grandma Sun not sleep, but they were even more energetic, obviously waiting for Lin Yi to come back. "Little E, you're back." Faubert saw that Lin Yi came back and quickly stood up, giving up the seat next to Grandma Sun. Seeing Faubert's nervous look, Lin Yi didn't know what to say, But he also understood Falbert's mood, smiled and said, "Falbert, don't worry. Let me see your Nigong first." What? Falbert was slightly stunned. "Yes, it's yours." Lin said, "In fact, it was a wasted trip. After I went there, I remembered the characteristics of the Sun family's Nigong. Grandma Sun was your wife, she naturally assisted you in your practice, so her true qi is the same as yours. I just need to check if your true qi is the same as the true qi in Grandma Sun's head." "That's right." Falbert slapped the back of his head and showed a look of realization. "I'm really sorry, I forgot about this. If I knew this earlier, I wouldn't have let you go back." "It's not really a lot of trouble, there are some other gains." Lin didn't regret looking for Sun Jingyi. Not only did he help Sun Jingyi find the map, but he also got the pure topaz. To be continued. Vote recommendation, monthly vote, etc. Chapter 1954. Date, October 20th. How was this a little gain? It could be said that it was a great gain. Of course, there were some secrets that even Falbert and Lin couldn't say. About the Jade Space, Lin couldn't reveal it to anyone yet. It wasn't that Lin didn't trust them, but it was because Lin Yi's strength hadn't reached that level yet. If Lin Yi was a peak late-stage heaven-class master now, he wouldn't have hidden it from Falbert. "Then hurry up and check." Falbert quickly reached out his hand and said, "Okay." Seeing Falbert's anxious look, Lin didn't say anything more and directly checked Falbert's qi. After a while, Lin Yi's face showed a satisfied look and said, "There's no mistake, it's the qi in Grandma Sun's head." "Then, can I help her get rid of the true qi expelling Chapter 1966? Very dejected? Falbert was surprised and happy after hearing Lin Yi's words. He was most worried that the qi in Sun Luoyue's head was caused by an enemy. If there were any malicious tricks, it would be troublesome, but now it seemed that this was unnecessary. There are two ways. One is for me to force Grandma Sun's qi out of her body. Although this method is feasible, I'm not very proficient in it yet. Lin Yi said honestly. The second level of the art of dragon mastery, Lin Yi could only describe it as relatively smooth, but he was still far from being proficient in it. Lin Yi also needed a lot of effort to force out his own fire qi. Now that he was using it on Grandma Sun, Lin Yi really didn't have much confidence. What about the second method? Falbert quickly asked. The second method is more certain, there won't be any danger, but the effect may be slower, it's not something that can be done overnight. Lin Yi said, that is to let Grandma Sun recultivate the Sun family's internal energy cultivation method. Once Grandma Sun successfully cultivates it, she will be able to dissolve the internal energy on her own. Chapter 1966. Very depressing. Then let's go with the second option. Li Fu said after some hesitation, choosing the second option without hesitation. After all, this method would definitely not be dangerous. Although it was a little slow, Falbert had waited for so many years. A little more time would not make a difference. If the first method went wrong, it would be too late for regrets. Actually, I also suggest using the second method. Lin Yi said, I've already got the Sun family's mental cultivation method. It's in my phone. I'll forward it to you later. But although this mental cultivation method was practiced by Grandma Sun before, it's best not to spread it. After all, I got it from Sun Jingyi. I understand. Falbert nodded and said, even if you don't say it, I won't casually say it. After all, this involves the enemies of the past. If they know that Luo Yin and I are not dead, they will definitely come to the door again. We are not opponents of those people. Lin Yi didn't say anything more. He sent the document sent by Sun Jingyi to Falbert and then went back to the room to rest. Back in the room, Lin Yi couldn't wait to open the jade pendant condensation method. This was the version that Lin Yi had copied. The original version was left in the West Star Mountain village. Now, there was pure topaz, but there was no news of color steel and blue crystal powder. Before, Lin Yi didn't study this condensation method carefully, but now that the pure topaz was in his hands, Lin Yi was naturally a little excited. He began to carefully study the condensation method of the jade pendant. However, what made Lin Yi puzzled was that this condensation method didn't specify how much pure topaz, blue crystal powder, and color steel was needed. Without the quantity, how could Lin Yi collect the materials? Thinking of this, Lin Yi couldn't help but wonder, Jiao Lao, how many materials do you need to condense this jade pendant? As much as you have. Jiao Lao said faintly. As much as you have? What do you mean? Lin Yi didn't understand what Jiao Yazi meant. The more materials, the larger the condensed storage space. What's there to understand? Jiao Yazi explained faintly. If that's the case, then can it only be condensed once? Lin Yi asked. No, you can condense as many times as you want. Every time you collect the materials, you can continue condensing. Lin Yi said. So that's how it is. Lin Yi was enlightened. Doesn't that mean that the storage space of this jade pendant can be condensed into an infinite size? In theory, didn't you notice that the space inside the jade pendant is actually an infinite fourth-dimensional space? Jiao Yazi said matter-of-factly, it's just that at present, these spaces can only store all-purpose energy and can't store other items. That means that the condensation of the jade pendant space actually turns a part of the jade pendant space that can only store all-purpose energy into a storage space? Lin Yi asked. You can understand it that way, but the four-dimensional space in the jade pendant space is theoretically infinite, Jiao Yazi said. Lin Yi was speechless after listening to Jiao Yazi's explanation. Previously, Lin Yi thought that his jade pendant was an ancient product, but as he learned more about the functions of the jade pendant, why did he feel that it was more and more high-tech? Even the four-dimensional space appeared, of course. Lin Yi was too lazy to ask Jiao Yazi about these things, because Jiao Yazi didn't know. He was just a phantom. To put it bluntly, he was like a computer. There was a limit to what he knew, so it was useless to ask. After putting away the pure yellow jade, Lin Yi continued practicing the art of dragon mastery. Before he gathered the other two materials, Lin Yi couldn't make the jade space, so he could only put it aside for now. The next morning, Lin Yi drove Meng Yao and Yushu to school, while Faubert stayed at home to train with Grandma Sunday. Lin Yi felt a gloomy atmosphere when he came to the dorm. Everyone seemed to be in low spirits, and by way to all looked like he had lost a lot of money. What's wrong with you guys? Was there a break-in yesterday? Lin Yi looked at the three people in front of him, confused. Lin bro, you're back? Bai Weidua's eyes lit up when he saw Lin Yi, but then dimmed. As far as he was concerned, Lin Yi might be good at other things, but he wouldn't be of much help in the freshman party. Otherwise, Lin Yi wouldn't be absent from the class rehearsals. It was obvious that he wasn't good at these things. I'm back, what's wrong with you guys? Lin Yi didn't know what was going on. Geez, Lin bro, I'm really done for this time. Bai Weidua said with a sad face. That Zhang Duopan kid, it's just as you said, he actually played dirty? Chapter 1955. Date, October 20th, what's wrong with him? Lin Yi frowned. For the freshman party, he actually invited a celebrity to be the lead singer. Although it's a celebrity who just debuted, he's quite famous in the country. With a celebrity as the host, I'm afraid the student council will have to give him some face no matter what and rank their performance. Bai Weitua said dejectedly, a celebrity came to our school's freshman party. If we don't rank them, it'll be too disrespectful. So what if he's a celebrity? Even if he doesn't sing well, he can still get a rank? Lin Yi wasn't too interested in celebrities and said disapprovingly. Su Shirhan was nothing in front of him. In Lin Yi's eyes, she was just a pretty girl who could sing and dance. She wasn't even as attractive as Miss and Shu, let alone a celebrity who wasn't that famous. Let's not talk about the fact that Zhang Duopan's class is singing the celebrity's famous song. They already have an advantage. It's just the student council, they won't offend a celebrity over such a small matter. Bai Weidua had been in the school for a long time, so he knew the logic behind this. The student council sometimes organizes some charity events and invites some celebrities. They're all trying to get close to those celebrities, so why wouldn't they give them some face? Zhang Duopan must have a master guiding him from behind. That's why he came up with such a trick. Let's not talk about how my singing is just SOS. Even if I sing well, I'm still no match for a celebrity. Oh, so you're saying that as long as it's a celebrity, they can get a rank? Lin Yi understood what Bai Weitua meant. Of course, it can't be too bad. Bai Weitua said, forget about those celebrities who are famous for disgusting people. Then why don't we invite a celebrity too? Lin said. I say, brother. It's not that easy to invite a celebrity. Zhang Duopan is a rich second generation. His family has a lot of money, his dad is a big boss, and his social connections are great. It's not a big deal to find a celebrity, but Bai Weiduo shook his head, we might not be able to invite one even with money. I'll leave it to me. I'll try. Lin Yi thought for a moment and asked, if we invite a celebrity who is more famous than Zhang Duopan, will our ranking be higher? That's for sure. When the time comes, all the members of the student union will be in charge of voting and scoring. Although there is a celebrity effect, whoever is popular will have the highest number of votes. Bai Weiduo said. I understand. Lin Yi nodded. Boss, are you really going to invite a celebrity? Bai Weiduo looked at Lin Yi in surprise. He didn't expect Lin Yi to invite him just like that. He had a matter-of-fact look on his face, as if it was easy to invite a celebrity. Are you ready to give up on Himeyue? Lin Yi asked. Of course not. Bai Weiduo shook his head and replied without thinking. That's it. If I don't invite you, you lose, right? Lin Yi said. Can you really invite him? Bai Weiduo looked at Lin Yi doubtfully. I don't know. I'll make a call and ask. Lin Yi said. Bai Weiduo heard Lin Yi say he'll make a call and was a bit discouraged. The celebrity Zhang Duopan invited is the coffee girl, Cheng. Although she just became famous recently, I heard that she's Su Shihan's junior martial sister. With Su Shihan's help, I'm afraid he'll be able to overshadow her. It's a bit difficult. Plus, Himeyue's idol is Su Shihan. Naturally, she likes Cheng Yi as well. This time, Zhang Duopan is obviously trying to please Himeyue. Oh, a junior martial sister from the same sect. Then just invite Su Shihan. She won't be able to say anything. Lin Yi heard Bai Weiduo's words and let out a sigh of relief. If it was Su Shihan's junior martial sister, it would be even more impossible to overshadow Su Shihan. Invite Su Shihan? Bai Weiduo's eyes widened. Lin bro, you're not joking, right? Su Shihan, she hasn't even held a concert in Donghe. How can she come to our school's freshman party? I don't know. Let's ask. Lin Yi took out his phone. He started rummaging through the phone book. Bai Weiduo, Zhao Xingji, and Song Xiaodao looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. They couldn't understand. How did Lin Yi know Su Shihan? Or did he know other friends who knew Su Shihan? The call went through. Su Shihan didn't pick up for a long time. The number you have dialed is currently unavailable. Lin Yi shook his head and hung up. Lin bro, how was it? Bai Weiduo didn't have much hope, but he still couldn't help but ask. No one picked up. Lin Yi said. Bai Weiduo didn't think that Lin Yi could find Su Shihan. So he wasn't surprised when Lin Yi said no one picked up. If anyone could get through a superstar's phone, they wouldn't be a superstar. It's okay. If it really doesn't work, I'll give up. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Looking at Bai Weiduo's face, Lin Yi shook his head. Forget it. I'll try again. Then, Lin Yi picked up his phone again. He was about to call again. However, Lin Yi's phone rang first. Looking at the caller ID, Lin Yi smiled and picked up. Lin Yi, you're looking for me? Su Shihan's sweet voice came from the other side. I was busy just now. The phone is with Wang Sis. Wang Sis told me that you called me, so I called immediately. Oh, I was about to call you again. Lin Yi said faintly. Su Shihan's enthusiasm was exchanged with a few indifferent words from Lin Yi. She was a superstar. What she said just now was to take credit from Lin Yi. If it was someone else, Su Shihan wouldn't even bother to call back. But Lin didn't seem to be flattered at all. But thinking about every time she went to his house, Lin Yi basically just greeted her and went back to his room. He didn't say anything. This made Su Shihan feel that her charm had decreased every time she saw Lin Yi. What's the matter? Su Shihan said helplessly. Do you have time recently? Come and help me. Lin Yi said. Sure. Even if I don't have time, you can find me. Su Shihan was very grateful to Lin Yi. It was him who cured her headache. It was also him who saw through Yao Wang's plot. Otherwise, if she really took Yao Wang's medicine, the consequences would be unimaginable. Oh, there's a freshman party in our school. Come over and bring our classmates to perform. That's it, Lin said. To be continued. Recommendation votes, monthly votes. Chapter 1956. Date, October 20th, freshman party? Performance? Su Shihan was speechless. What did Lin find for her? She was a top star in Asia, yet she was attending a freshman party. However, since Lin invited her, she couldn't refuse. She said, I've rejected all the other people who asked me to hold a concert, but I promise you that I will attend the freshman party. Huh? Thank you, Lin said. No need to thank me. Who told you to cure my headache? I should be the one thanking you, Su Shihan said. When is it? Wait, let me ask, Lin said and turned to Bai Weiduo. When is the freshman party? The night after tomorrow. Bai Weiduo said subconsciously. The night after tomorrow, Lin said to Su Shihan. Where are you? Songshan? Su Shihan remembered the time and asked. No, I'm at Donghai Industry University, Lin said. I understand. I'll go there tomorrow. Can you pick me up at the airport? Su Shihan asked. Okay, I'll pick you up. Lin didn't mind being a chauffeur since he needed someone to do something for him. Su Shihan was attending the event on her own, so the organizer wouldn't prepare a car. Then I'll see you tomorrow, Su Shihan said. However, as soon as Su Shihan finished speaking, Wang Sis' voice came from the other side. Han, didn't we agree to shoot the cover of the new album tomorrow? Oh, I'll do it in a few days. Su Shihan said carelessly. What's up? Lin asked. Nothing, I dropped it, Su Shihan said. Then I'm really flattered. You have quite a lot of face, Lin joked. You finally know how big your face is? I thought you didn't know. Su Shihan snorted and hung up the phone. Lin shook his head helplessly, but when he raised his head he saw the three guys in the dormitory looking at him in disbelief. Big brother Lin, you really know Su Shihan? Bai Weiduo asked in disbelief. Yes, she agreed. Lin nodded. It can't be. Bai Weiduo pinched his face hard. Am I dreaming? Big brother Lin, you're too awesome. It feels so good to turn defeat into victory. Bai Weiduo didn't doubt the authenticity of Lin Yi's call at all, because in his eyes, there was no need for Lin Yi to lie to him. Calling Su Shihan meant calling Su Shihan. But Bai Weiduo was a little surprised. Lin even knew Su Shihan, and he seemed to be quite familiar with her. Hee, shouldn't we go to class? Lin said, it's no problem for me to ask for leave, but if you don't go to class, I'm afraid Boss Bai won't let you go easily, right? Damn class? Bai Weiduo looked at his watch and quickly put on his coat and ran out of the dorm. When he came to the classroom, Lin saw Han Jingjing sitting next to Wang Xinyan. She was whispering something to Xinyan, which made Lin frown. He'd gotten used to sitting at the same table with Xinyan these past couple of days, and Han Jingjing was taking his seat. He wasn't used to it. However, when Han Jingjing saw Lin, she stood up and sat behind him, giving the seat to Lin. This made Lin a little surprised. Seeing Han Jingjing's action, Wang Xinyan blushed. This was too obvious. Anyone could see that her relationship with Lin wasn't normal. Otherwise, in a class, there would only be two girls together. Lin didn't care so much and directly sat next to Wang Xinyan. You've recovered from your cold? And it's much better. Wang Xinyan thought of the ambiguous scene in the car yesterday, and her face became even redder. Big brother Lin, didn't you ask for leave today? Why are you here again? If I knew you would come to school today, I would have hitchhiked with you. Han Jingjing sat behind Lin and said to Lin, how did she know he asked for leave? But thinking of yesterday, he told Bai Weiduo that he might not come today and asked him to ask for leave on his behalf. It should be from Bai Weiduo yesterday, or Wang Xinyan told her yesterday afternoon. Don't you have your own car? Lin asked back, didn't you already know the classroom? Why do you still hitchhike? Aren't we saving energy and reducing emissions now? People don't drive. Sitting in your car can protect the environment. Han Jingjing said matter-of-factly. It's more environmentally friendly to walk. Lin said with some speechlessness. There's a hitchhiker, why do I walk? Isn't that stupid? Han Jingjing asked with a surprised face. Lin Yi was speechless about Han Jingjing's IQ. This girl wouldn't have 100,000 whys, right? She was always saying why and whys, but it seemed like she was very reasonable, so Lin Yi didn't know how to answer. If I buy a car and let you hitchhike, isn't that stupid? But you don't have to spend a penny more for gas. It's on the way anyway. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi strangely. But why should I give you a ride? According to what you said, can I live in your villa? Lin Yi had a headache because of Han Jingjing's thinking. Because we are neighbors and classmates. Do you want to live in my villa? Okay, I'll help you clean up a room at night. It just so happens that my brother and I are scared. Han Jingjing said. Okay, you can continue to hitchhiker, forget about cleaning up the room. Lin Yi was defeated. This girl's thinking was too weird. Lin Yi felt that if he continued to argue with her, it would only become more and more troublesome. He might even become crazy. Wang Xinyan saw Lin Yi being defeated and couldn't help but cover her mouth and laugh. This Han Jingjing was really interesting, and the questions she asked were so cute. Han Jingjing's mouth flashed a trace of a successful smile, and Lin Yi didn't say anything because Boss Bai had arrived. Just as Boss Bai said, most of the courses in the medical profession were taught by him part-time. Lin Yi's medical skills, under the training of old Lin since he was young, was already at the top level, but unexpectedly, some of Boss Bai's theories gave Lin Yi a refreshing feeling. It was clearly some of the most basic pharmacology knowledge, but it gave Lin Yi a lot of inspiration. Lin Yi glanced at Tiger Right, noticing that the two followers beside him were doing nothing, while Tiger Right, on the other hand, was focused on Boss Bai's explanation. This discovery also proved that Boss Bai was extraordinary. To be continued. Cast recommendation votes, monthly votes, etc. Chapter 1957. Date: October 20th. The hidden house. You could be said to be a medical family, and the fact that the children of the house you could listen to Boss Bai's class so attentively, especially someone as arrogant as Yu Panhu. This made Lin Yi feel that Boss Bai was not a normal person. In a small town near Donghe, in a luxurious manner, two brothers were sitting in front of a computer in the study, replaying the video footage over and over again. These two brothers were the two Ferrari drivers that Lin Yi met on his way to Songjiang. Brother, is there still no news? It's taking so long to find out who the license plate belongs to. Uncle Han Jio's information network isn't too good. The one who spoke was the younger brother in the Ferrari, Han Xiaoling, and the one driving the Ferrari was the older brother, Han Xiaopa. Uncle Han Jio has always been in charge of our hidden house of Han's information network, but there's still no news. It's not that his network isn't good, it's that the owner of the car isn't a normal person. Han Xiaopa was one of the successors of the hidden house of Han, so he had a clearer view of things. He immediately noticed the problem. Ah, brother, then if the owner isn't a normal person, will he still help us participate in the race? Han Xiaoling asked. I don't know, but we need to see which power he belongs to first. If he isn't from a hidden house, then as long as we bring out enough benefits and sincerity, there shouldn't be a problem. Han Xiaopa said. Oh. Han Xiaoling was Han Xiaopa's biological brother, so he was very close to Han Xiaopa in the hidden house of Han. The hidden house of Han was a hidden house that kept a very low profile. The hidden house of Han started out 10 years ago, and the head of the house of Han was originally a lone practitioner, and his strength was only at the early phase of the mystic class. However, 15 years ago, the head of the house of Han found an ancient ruin and obtained a golden pill. After swallowing it, his strength soared from the early phase of the mystic class all the way to the early phase of the earth class. Along with the treasures from the ancient ruin, the old man of the house of Han, a lone practitioner, successfully became a member of the hidden house. However, the hidden house Han's foundation was still too shallow. Other than old man Han, who was an earth class early phase master, the second generation of the family was at most mystic class, and the third generation was pitifully golden class. If it wasn't for the fact that they had obtained the treasures from the ancient ruins and that the Han family had come at a good time, they wouldn't have been able to survive. The Hidden House Arbitration Association had just been established, and this series of events had allowed the Han family to become a member of the Hidden House by chance. However, Old Man Han understood that his family's foundation was too shallow. If an old hidden family obtained the treasures from the ancient ruins, then not only would they not have to worry, they might even become an ancient family. Because even if they didn't have a heaven-class expert, they would still have a peak late-phase Earth-class expert overseeing them. According to the agreement between the ancient sects and ancient families, heaven-class experts couldn't casually make a move. Therefore, Earth-class late-phase peak could basically sit back and relax. But the Han family was different. A man's wealth was his own ruin. The Han family had been developing in a low profile these past few years. The Ice Palace trials, the Hidden House Arbitration Association's Elder Council, those were things they wouldn't participate in. The only thing they wanted to do was rest and slowly increase the family's strength. Once the family had a peak late-phase Earth-class expert, or even a Heaven-class expert, that would be the day the Han family would soar. Of course, with the restrictions of the Hidden House Arbitration Association, the other houses hadn't done anything to the Han family. But recently, Old Man Han had heard some bad news. The Grand Elder of the Hidden House Arbitration Association had disappeared. The other hidden houses had started to stir as well. Although they didn't have any intentions of making a move against the Hidden House Han, they had made some strange suggestions and requests. That was, to hold a few competitions during the Hidden House Summit. The events of the competition were also different. There were martial arts competitions, art competitions, endurance competitions, strength competitions, and even racing competitions. In every round of the competition, every hidden house would take out a treasure as a wager. Anyone with a discerning eye could tell that this competition was aimed at the weak house of Han. This was because the hidden house of Han was too weak. They were so weak that they couldn't even win a single battle. However, these battles covered a wide range of areas and seemed to be fair. So even if the hidden house of Han knew that the hidden houses couldn't sit still anymore and wanted to covet the hidden house of Han's treasures, they couldn't refuse. Refusing to participate in the Hidden House Summit was the same as giving up their right to be a hidden house. Without the protection of the Hidden House title, even the Hidden House Arbitration Association wouldn't care about the life and death of the hidden house. At that time, the hidden houses would definitely make a move on the Hidden House Han. But this was a dead end. They knew that there would be losses, and they would definitely have to take out some treasures. But under these circumstances, the Hidden House Han could only pinch their noses and accept it. Who asked them to be weak? When he saw Lin Yi's driving skills by chance, Han Xiaopa had the mentality of trying to save a dead horse. If they could win one race, even if it was just one, it would be a victory for the House Han. It was better than losing all the competitions. Even if the House Han had to pay a certain price, it didn't matter. After all, this was related to the Hidden House Han's reputation. As he spoke, Han Xiaopa's phone rang. Seeing the familiar name, Han Xiaopa relaxed a little. Finally, there was news. Ninth Uncle. Han Xiaopa answered the phone respectfully. Ninth Uncle Han wasn't a direct relative of the Han family, but he was one of his grandfather's followers. The ancient ruins were discovered by him and his grandfather. However, Ninth Uncle Han was about the same age as Han Xiaopa's father, so he was considered an uncle. Master Pe, we've investigated the ownership of the car, but we can't get the owner's information, Ninth Uncle Han said. What? No information on the owner? Han Xiaopa was slightly taken aback. The car belongs to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Our information channels aren't strong enough to find a secret of this level. If we ask for help, we might not be able to find someone who knows the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Even if they do, we might not be able to find them, Ninth Uncle Han said. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau. No wonder. I heard that there are many capable people there. Han Xiaopa suddenly understood. Although the practitioners of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau weren't as powerful as the hidden houses, they were far superior in other aspects. This was because they had many all-round talents. Not to mention his superb driving skills, it was easy for him to do stunts with an airplane. Chapter 1958. However, according to the information we received from our people, we found that the car was heading towards East Ocean City from the surveillance cameras of several nearby highways. Book C Pavilion Ninth Uncle said, according to our informants in East Ocean City, the car is currently parked at East Ocean Industry University. Ninth uncle, you really scared me to death. I thought we wouldn't be able to find anything. I didn't expect you to have already found out. Han Xiaopa was very happy when he heard ninth Uncle Han's words. Young Master Pe, what I said earlier was just to point out this person's background. Ninth Uncle Han's voice was still calm. Han Xiaopa was stunned for a moment, but he immediately understood what ninth Uncle Han meant. If ninth Uncle Han didn't say it in such detail and directly told him where the person was, Han Xiaopa would have gone to look for him. If he had been the slightest bit negligent, the negotiation would have definitely failed. Thinking of this, Han Xiaopa couldn't help but feel grateful. According to the school's security registration, the car owner is a student at East Ocean Industry University. The rest is still under investigation. Ninth Uncle Han paused for a moment. It seemed that he also thought it was strange that a student from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau would be a student. A student? Han Xiaopa was stunned. How could a student be from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? I'm not sure yet, but I have reported this to the head of the family. Perhaps the head of the family will call for a family meeting soon. Young Master Pe, please be prepared. Book C Pavilion. Ninth Uncle Han said. Thank you so much, ninth uncle. Han Xiaopa couldn't help but feel touched after hearing ninth Uncle Han's words. The family meeting was a good opportunity to show one's face in public. As long as one made reasonable suggestions during the family meeting, one would be valued by his grandfather. Although the heir to the head of the family hadn't been appointed yet, ninth Uncle Han obviously thought highly of Han Xiaopa. In Han Xiaopa's generation, the only one who could compete with him was his second uncle's son, Han Xiaochun. However, although Han Xiaochun was capable, he was narrow-minded and always went against Han Xiaopa. Ninth Uncle Han didn't like his personality. As expected, half an hour later, Han Xiaopa received a notice from the family members that a family meeting would be held in the assembly hall. In Han Xiaopa's generation, only he and Han Xiaochun had the right to participate in the family meeting. Both of them were being groomed as successors to the family. Han Xiaopa quickly arrived at the conference room, but Han Xiaochun arrived first. Old Master Han, the second-generation members of the Han family, and ninth Uncle Han were all present. Han Xiaopa was the last to arrive. It seemed that the disciple who had called for the meeting was probably someone from Han Xiaochun's side, and had deliberately made Han Xiaopa look bad. I'm sorry, Grandpa. I'm late. Han Xiaopa looked at the people in the conference room and apologized. All right, sit down. Grandfather Han wasn't an idiot. He knew that Han Xiaopa wouldn't be late on purpose. He knew what was going on, but he couldn't be bothered to point it out. Yes, Grandpa. Han Xiaopa nodded and sat on his seat. Han Xiaochun's eyes flashed with disappointment. Han Xiaopa's lateness didn't incur his grandpa's wrath. This made Han Xiaochun's efforts a little wasted. Xiaopa, I heard from your ninth Uncle Han that you found a racer with superb driving skills. You want him to represent the Hidden Han family in the upcoming Hidden Family Summit. Is that true? Grandfather Han waited for Han Xiaopa to sit down and then asked. Yes, Grandpa. Han Xiaopa nodded and told him about the Jeep Cherokee he saw on the highway. He then added, Grandpa, I think that if it's possible, we should invite this person to represent us in the race no matter what. Otherwise, I'm afraid our Hidden Han family won't be able to win in the end. This concerns our Hidden Han family's reputation. Not bad. Old Man Han nodded in praise. Little Pa didn't go out for nothing this time, always thinking about the family's interests. That's what everyone in the Hidden Han family should learn. Our Hidden Han family originally didn't have any hope in this Hidden Family Summit, but if Little Pa can invite this person, then we'll be able to save some face for our Han family. We won't lose so miserably. Old Nine, have you investigated this person's background? Tell us and we'll see how we can invite him. Ninth Uncle Han nodded and told everyone the results of his investigation. Xiaopa, what do you think? You were the one who suggested this idea. What do you think we should pay to invite this person to race for us? Grandfather Han looked at Han Xiaopa and asked. Grandpa, since this person is from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, then I don't think he'll be interested in ordinary benefits. I think that as long as we can invite this person, even if we have to give him all the treasures after winning, it'll be worth it. Han Xiaopa said. Big brother, are you stupid? Treasures after winning? That's not just our Han family's treasures. Every participating family will put up a treasure as a bet. When the time comes, he'll get the treasures of all the families. Don't you think that's a bit too generous? Han Xiaochun didn't wait for Han Xiaopa to finish and retorted coldly, or are you colluding with outsiders to embezzle the Han family's benefits? I embezzle the Han family's benefits? Han Xiaopa looked at Han Xiaochun with a smile that wasn't a smile. You know, if we don't invite him, we'll definitely lose the race. With our family's resources, it's not even enough for him to look at. He's just a student. Even if he's related to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, we, the Hidden Han family, are asking him for help because we think highly of him. When the time comes, we'll just give them any of our family's treasures. Won't he obediently help? Han Xiaochun snorted coldly and said, although our Hidden Han family isn't one of the top families among the hidden families, if we say something, even the Supernatural Investigation Bureau will have to give us face. Xiaochun is right about this. If we give him all the treasures, then our Han family will really be at a loss. Giving him one treasure is already very impressive. Grandfather Han nodded, agreeing with Han Xiaochun. Grandpa, if he doesn't show his sincerity, I can't promise to invite him. Han Xiaopa sighed. He didn't know why, but Han Xiaopa just felt that the person driving the Jeep Cherokee wasn't someone who was easy to talk to. He wasn't someone who could be invited easily. Big brother, if you think your ability is limited, then leave this to me. I'll invite him and I guarantee it'll be done. Han Xiaochun patted his chest and promised. Chapter 1959. Oh. Grandfather Han turned to look at Han Xiaochun and asked. Book Ocean Pavilion Net. Han Xiaochun laughed coldly. When the time comes, we'll bring a mystic late phase peak master. That'll scare him to death. Even if we don't give him any benefits, he'll still come and help. Threats and promises are fine, carrot and stick. Since Xiaochun said so, then we'll leave this to him, Grandpa Han said faintly. Han Xiaopa opened his mouth but gave up in the end. No matter how he looked at it, he didn't think that the other party was that simple. Since Han Xiaochun had a way, then let him do it. He wouldn't get involved. Yes. Grandpa, don't worry, I'll do it well. Han Xiaochun turned to look at Ninth Uncle Han and asked, Ninth Uncle, did you find out the person's name? There's no news yet. Our family also has a branch family studying at Donghai Industry University. I've already asked them to find out who the owner of the Jeep Cherokee is. Ninth Uncle Han said. We should have news soon. As he spoke, Uncle Hanjio's phone rang. Uncle Hanjio picked up the phone and said a few words. Then, his expression changed and became extremely strange. After a while, Ninth Uncle Han said, Okay, I got it. You guys continue the investigation. Ninth, how is it? Is there news? Grandpa Han couldn't help but ask when he saw the strange expression on Ninth Uncle Han's face. Book Ocean Pavilion Net. Yes, Master, there's news. Ninth Uncle Han nodded and said, This student is called Lin. He's a new medical student at Donghai Industry University. Oh, Lin Yi, a new student. I got it. Han Xiaochun nodded and said, I'll go find him in a bit. Young Master Chun, this person's name is Lin Yi. Ninth Uncle Han repeated the name and emphasized it. That Lin Yi? Han Xiaochun's heart skipped a beat. He thought of an existence that was taboo in the various hidden families. The hidden House Yu, and House Zhao wanted to cause trouble for him, but all of them returned empty-handed. Not only did they fail to do anything to Lin Yi, but all of their masters died. Could it be that this Lin Yi was that Lin Yi? Thinking up to here, Han Xiaochun's face changed, and he cried bitterly in his heart. Just now, he had sworn that he would threaten and bribe them, bringing a mystic-class late-phase peak master to threaten them. What a joke! One had to know that even an Earth-class late-phase master was killed by Lin Yi, let alone a peak mystic late-phase master. Bringing a mystic late-phase peak to cause trouble was asking for death. Young Master Chun, although I haven't found out if these two Lin Yis are the same person, whether it's House Yu, or House Zhao, they all kept quiet and didn't reveal too much information about Lin Yi, so I can't be sure yet. Ninth Uncle Han said with a normal face, but he was laughing coldly in his heart. Don't you love to be in the limelight? Why are you stunned now? Han Xiaochun thought of Lin Yi's lightning-fast killing methods, and his heart went cold. In the eyes of these hidden house disciples, Lin Yi was no different from a demon king. He was terrifying to the extreme. He was going to talk terms with Lin Yi, but if he didn't succeed and got killed right away, then he'd die for nothing. No one from the hidden house would dare to stand up for him. The hidden house Yu, House Zhao, and House Yu all suffered in silence, let alone the hidden house Han. Brother, you already know this person's information, when are you going to go look for him? Han Xiaopa was amused as well. Where was that arrogance from before? He was dumbfounded when he heard the name. Big brother, my abilities are limited, you should go. After all, you were the one who found this person, so it's more reasonable for you to go. Han Xiaochun didn't dare to go anymore. Unless he didn't want to live anymore, daring to talk terms with a violent maniac like Lin Yi, wasn't that looking for death? Old Han's face turned red and white as well. This was a slap in the face. However, he didn't have the slightest intention of getting angry. If this Lin Yi was the same Lin Yi, sending Han Xiaochun to look for him without knowing was the same as asking the hidden house Han to die. There was a hidden house arbitration association to mediate between the hidden houses, but when it came to the common world, Lin Yi didn't have much to say. If Lin Yi wanted to destroy the hidden house Han, then it wouldn't be a difficult task. When that time comes, thinking of this, old Han broke out in a cold sweat and said to Han Xiaopa, Xiaopa still has foresight. We didn't act impulsively, or else if we really did as Xiaochun said, the consequences would be unthinkable. Xiaochun is still not mature enough. Han Xiaochun was very displeased. You clearly agreed with my suggestion just now, and even told me to go with the carrot and the stick, but now you're saying that I'm not mature enough. This made him very depressed. But he didn't dare to refute, because if he did, wouldn't he make his grandfather lose face? So he could only endure it helplessly. Yes, you're right, grandfather. Han Xiaochun said gloomily. Xiaopa, you should go talk to Lin Yi about this. No matter what, even if he wants more, we have to rope him in. As long as he can become a friend of our hidden house Han, the other hidden houses will have to think about their own strength if they want to touch us. Old Han was looking further ahead. Although he was snobbish, he was extremely cunning. Otherwise, the hidden house Han would still be in decline for so many years. Old Han still had some tricks up his sleeve. If it wasn't for the fact that he had told the children of the family to keep a low profile and not go out to cause trouble or earn money, those hidden families would have found an excuse to deal with the hidden house of Han. But old man Han would rather sit back and enjoy his wealth than be caught red-handed. That was where he was smart. So, he saw hope in Lin Yi. Although Lin Yi was a star of misfortune and had a grudge with many hidden houses, being close to Lin Yi would mean offending House Yu, House Zhao, and House Yu, but that wasn't the case. Even without the relationship with Lin Yi, these houses would still harbor evil intentions towards the hidden house Han. If they wanted to deal with the hidden house Han, then they might as well build a good relationship with Lin Yi. With Lin Yi blocking them, perhaps House Han would have more time to breathe. What old Han could see clearly, the other members of House Han could see clearly as well. They all nodded. Old Han was right. If they could get Lin Yi's support, at least in the short term, House Han wouldn't be in any danger. Plus, during the Hidden House Summit, Lin Yi might even be able to win other competitions, and that would give House Han even more face. Chapter 1960. Yes, Grandpa, as long as you say so. Han Xiaopa said, as long as we can offer enough benefits, then we don't have to be afraid that he won't come. After lunch, Lin Yi looked at the stranger in front of him and frowned slightly. Lin Yi was very sure that he didn't know the person in front of him, but the person in front of him was blocking his way, which made Lin Yi a little unhappy. What do you want? Lin Yi asked calmly. Excuse me, are you Mr. Lin Yi? Although the person had blocked Lin Yi's way, his tone was very polite. Yes, what do you want? Lin Yi looked at the person in front of him again, but he still didn't know him. This humble one is Han Xiaopa of the Hidden Han family. Greetings, Senior Lin. Han Xiaopa used the honorific of the martial arts world and cupped his fists. Hidden Han family? This was the first time Lin Yi had heard of this hidden family, but Lin Yi still stopped in his tracks. Since this person was from a hidden family, then he might as well see what he wanted. It's just a small family, it's normal that Senior Lin hasn't heard of it. Han Xiaopa smiled bitterly, thinking that the hidden Han family really didn't have much of a reputation. Lin Yi probably hadn't heard of it before. Book C Pavilion Net. Oh, tell me why you're here. Lin Yi didn't care whether the person was from a small family or a large family, and asked directly. Senior Lin, I won't beat around the bush. I have something that I need your help with. Han Xiaopa said. Not interested, no time. Lin Yi hadn't even heard of the hidden Han family, so he naturally wasn't in the mood to deal with someone asking for his help. Senior Lin, please wait. Our Han family once obtained an ancient ruin with many treasures. If Senior Lin can help us, you can choose any treasure you like as a reward. Han Xiaopa knew that he couldn't play mind games with people like Lin. He had to say whatever was on his mind to gain Lin Yi's favor. If he beat around the bush, perhaps Lin Yi wouldn't have the patience to waste time with him. Ancient ruins? Lin Yi stopped in his tracks and turned to look at Han Xiaopa, deep in thought. Lin Yi naturally knew what an ancient relic was. Legend had it that the ancient sects and ancient families had become the overlords of the martial arts world because they had found an ancient relic. The fact that the hidden Han family had also found an ancient relic surprised Lin. Found an ancient relic, and a small clan at that? Unheard of even in the hidden aristocratic families? However, although Lin Yi didn't know the reason behind it, Han Xiaopa's conditions had indeed tempted Lin. Among the materials in the ancient ruins, there might be pure topaz, colored steel, or blue crystal powder. Book C Pavilion Net. That's right. Han Xiaopa nodded and said, I wonder if Senior Lin has the time to sit down and discuss in detail. All right, let's go to the cafeteria. I haven't had lunch yet. Lin Yi said. Senior Lin, this humble one has already booked a table at the Shueshang Business Hotel nearby. I hope Senior Lin can do me the honor. Han Xiaopa heard Lin Yi's agreement and immediately invited him with a smile. Oh, then let's go. Lin Yi nodded. Under the biology building, a Ferrari sports car was parked. Han Xiaopa respectfully invited Lin Yi into the car and drove to the Shueshang Business Hotel. The Shueshang Business Hotel was actually the Shueshang Hotel, it was just called by a different name. Arriving here, Lin Yi thought of Sun Jingyi, so he said to Han Xiaopa, wait, I'll call a friend to eat with us. Alright, no problem. Han Xiaopa naturally wouldn't have the slightest doubt. The more casual Lin Yi behaved, the more likely it was to succeed. Lin Yi called Sun Jingyi. It just so happened that Sun Jingyi was also going to eat, so Lin Yi let Sun Jingyi go directly to the private room that Han Xiaopa had booked. Lin Yi, why did you think of eating here at noon? Sun Jingyi was a little surprised by Lin Yi's sudden visit, but when she saw that there was an outsider beside Lin Yi, she was a little puzzled. This must be Senior Lin's girlfriend. Hello, Senior. My name is Han Xiaopa. I'm from the hidden Han family. Han Xiaopa said respectfully to Sun Jingyi. Hidden Han family? Lin Yi didn't know about the hidden Han family, but as a member of an aristocratic family, Sun Jingyi was very clear about it. She also knew about the history of the Han family's rise to power. Even if the hidden Han family was a relatively weak existence among the hidden aristocratic families, it was still a behemoth compared to the Sun family. But what Sun Jingyi didn't expect was that the hidden Han family's disciple would call her senior. Could this be considered riding on Lin Yi's coattails? Yes, I am the eldest son and eldest grandson of the hidden Han family. I represent the hidden Han family, and I have some matters that I need Senior Lin's help with. Han Xiaopa explained respectfully. All right, serve the dishes first. I'm hungry. Let's talk while we eat. Lin Yi waved his hand impatiently and interrupted Han Xiaopa. Yes, Senior Lin. I'll ask the waiter to serve the dishes now. Han Xiaopa said as he turned around and left the private room, instructing the waiter to serve the dishes. At this time, Sun Jingyi was very surprised. She lowered her voice and said to Lin Yi, why did he call you senior? Why did he need your help? Who knows? Let's hear it later. Lin Yi said nonchalantly. Soon, Han Xiaopa returned and sat respectfully at the seat below. He poured tea for Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi. All right, before the dishes are served, tell me what you need, Lin Yi said. It's like this, Senior Lin. Han Xiaopa quickly told Lin Yi about the Hidden House Summit, the competition, and how he saw Lin Yi's flying car on the highway. Hidden House Summit? This was Lin Yi's first time hearing about this. But thinking about it, if the aristocratic families had their own house summit, then it wasn't surprising that the hidden families had their own hidden house summit. From the sound of it, this was a conference to test the hidden family's abilities. In other words, if I win the car race for you, all the prizes will belong to me. Plus, I can choose any treasure from your hidden Han family's treasure vault? Don't you think you're losing out? Han Xiaopa nodded. Of course, I hope this isn't just a trade, but the beginning of a friendship. I sincerely hope that our hidden Han family can become Senior Lin's friend. So, it doesn't matter if we're losing out or not. If Han Xiaopa wanted to negotiate, he could have said that he would give the prizes to Lin. If Lin Yi didn't agree, he could have increased the stakes. But Han Xiaopa wanted to gain Lin Yi's friendship. After he found out that the person driving the jeep was Lin Yi, he had this idea. Pure topaz, blue crystal, chromatic steel. What does your hidden Han family have? Lin Yi asked. Chapter 1961. Pure topaz? Blue crystal? Colored steel? Han Xiaopa repeated Lin Yi's words and frowned. After a while, he said uncertainly, I think we do have colored steel. It's a material used to forge weapons. Our Han family found some in the ancient ruins. I think it's called colored steel, but I'm not sure. Senior Lin, is it that colorful steel? That's right. Your hidden Han family has something like that? Lin Yi's eyes brightened. He did not think that the most difficult material to find would be found in the hands of the hidden Han family. If it's something like that, then we have one in our treasure vault. However, the blacksmith who forged the weapon has long since disappeared, and the method of forging has also been lost. We don't have much use for this thing. Han Xiaopa said, if that's what you want, then I can give it to you right now. Whether or not you agree to help our hidden Han family in the tournament, I'll give it to you as a meeting gift. Alright, I agree. Lin Yi nodded. You're not bad. I know what you're thinking, but it's a bit difficult for me to protect your Han family. My strength is limited. If the other hidden houses join forces to cause trouble for you, there's nothing I can do. Don't worry about that, Senior Lin. Hidden families have their own rules. Even if they want to deal with us, the hidden house of Han, they'll have to use this sort of competition to get our treasures. They wouldn't dare to openly rob us. Han Xiaopa said, so as long as Senior Lin represents our Han family, at least in the short term, these people won't have any designs on us. What we need is some breathing room, that's not a problem. Also, I might participate in the other competitions you mentioned. Do I get to keep the rewards? Lin asked. Book C Pavilion Net. Of course. Han Xiaopa was overjoyed. If Lin Yi could win a few more rounds, it would be a great opportunity to show off the hidden Han family's power. It would also show the other hidden families how powerful Lin Yi was. Okay, then you can go. This is my phone number. Call me when the time is confirmed. Lin Yi said and gave Han Xiaopa his phone number. Alright, Senior Lin, I'll send you the colored steel tomorrow. Han Xiaopa said after writing down Lin Yi's phone number. Don't worry, but help me find out more about pure topaz and blue crystal, Lin Yi said. I will remember it, Senior Lin. Han Xiaopa said. The dishes were served, and Han Xiaopa was done with his business. He got up and left without eating. He was a smart man and went to pay the bill. He didn't want to disturb Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi's meal. He had achieved his goal. It didn't matter if he ate or not, as long as Lin ate happily. Han Xiaopa and Lin Yi reached an agreement and built a good relationship. He returned to the hidden Han family to report. Sun Jingyi was the only one left in the room. She looked at Lin Yi in surprise. These hidden houses are so afraid of you now? I burned 3 of them to death last time. Maybe they have a phobia now. Lin Yi shrugged. He was thinking about other things in his mind. His current strength was only at the early phase of Earth class, and he needed to raise it to the next level as soon as possible. Although the Frenzy Fist was powerful, Lin Yi had only trained the first 3 styles. At most, he could fight a mid-phase Earth-class master to a draw. If he met someone stronger, then he wouldn't be able to do it. So Lin Yi was eager to raise his strength to the next level. It would be best if he could train the 4th to 6th style of the Frenzy Fist. After seeing the power of the Frenzy Fist, Lin Yi was confident that he could fight a late-phase Earth-class master after training the 4th to 6th style. Of course, this was just a confidence. Before Lin Yi started training, everything was just a guess. He would only know after training. So that's how it is. Sun Jingyi nodded. All right, I did a comparison last night. That map seems to be the Wulong Haut Mountains. But it was too late last night, so I didn't find the detailed map. I just woke up not long ago. I'm going to go online and look for a more detailed map later. Oh, you found it already? Lin Yi was a little surprised. Although Sun Jingyi made it sound easy, she must have been busy last night. It was just that Lin Yi was surprised that Sun Jingyi found the location on the map so quickly. Maybe it's my parents' secret. Of course I'm anxious. Sun Jingyi smiled embarrassedly. I understand. Let me know when you want to leave. I'll go with you. Lin said. Thank you. Sun Jingyi said gratefully. But you may have to wait. At least, you have to wait until the hidden Han family's matter is over. Lin Yi thought about it and said. It doesn't matter. You can go whenever you want. Moreover, it's not necessarily the Wulong Haut Mountains. I just think the terrain is similar. Sun Jingyi said, maybe I need to confirm it for a while. After lunch, Sun Jingyi returned to her room, and Lin Yi was ready to go back to school. After leaving the hotel, Lin Yi was about to stop a taxi, but he saw a middle-aged man walking quickly toward Lin. Senior Lin, young master asked me to wait here and send you back to school. The middle-aged man explained before Lin Yi could ask. Then let's go. Lin Yi nodded. He didn't expect Han Xiaopa to be so considerate. After he left, he still sent someone to pick him up to school. The middle-aged man drove an Audi A8. After respectfully asking Lin Yi to get in the car, he didn't say much. He directly sent Lin Yi back to school and left. Lin Yi returned to the dormitory, but he saw Bai Weituo still sitting at the desk with a sad face. Old Bai, what's wrong with you? Lin Yi looked at Bai Weituo strangely. Wasn't the matter solved? Why didn't this guy lead the class to rehearse? Instead, he was sighing in the dormitory. Big brother Lin, you're back? Bai Weituo saw Lin Yi, and his face suddenly showed some joy. Big brother Lin, I told the class about the big star Su Shihan. Everyone was very excited after hearing it, but Right Coiling Tiger jumped out to cause trouble. He said that Su Shihan had never held a concert in Donghai before, and that it was unheard of for her to participate in this kind of small event. So he said that I wanted to boost the class's morale, and that's why I made this up to compete with Zhang Duopan. And then? Lin Yi frowned, thinking that this coiling tiger on the right didn't know how to stop, always going against them. Chapter 1962. Book C Pavilion. Chapter 1974. She really was a superstar. After that, the students in the class got discouraged. They felt that no matter how much they practiced, they wouldn't be able to fight against that coffee girl Chengyi that Zhang Duopan invited, so they were too lazy to practice and came back with the attitude of just making up the numbers. Bai Weituo said bitterly. Lin Yi was speechless, so they didn't believe him. But it wasn't strange that they doubted him. If Lin Yi didn't call Su Shihan in front of Bai Weituo wouldn't believe that he could invite Su Shihan. Su Shihan used to have headaches, so she rarely held concerts, let alone private events. Therefore, a lot of people probably didn't believe it at first, but after Right Coiling Tiger said this, no one believed it anymore. This Panhu Right really needs to be beaten up. If it weren't for the fact that Lin Yi wasn't weak, he would have beaten Panhu Right up a long time ago. But after offending House Yu, House Zhao, and an unknown master from House Kong, Lin Yi didn't want to mess with the hidden House Yu, especially since they were a medical family. Their power couldn't be underestimated. It's not his fault, he just raised a question. We're the class monitor, we can't let our classmates doubt us, right? Bai Weituo smiled bitterly. Even if Su Shihan comes tomorrow, the party starts the day after tomorrow, and we only have half a day left to rehearse. It's not enough. I'll make another call. Lin Yi wanted to rush Su Shihan to see if she could come today. Bai Weitua heard Lin Yi's words and was extremely grateful. He didn't think that Lin Yi would help him this much. Lin Yi called Su Shihan again, but this time, it was Su Shihan who picked up. Lin Yi, why are you calling me again? It's like this. Lin Yi told Su Shihan about Bai Weitua's troubles and said, "Can you come earlier? It's best if you come tonight." "I'm afraid I can't. Today's schedule is already full. Even tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, I had to squeeze out time for you. Do you think I'm free every day?" Su Shihan was annoyed by Lin Yi's words. Did this guy think that she was just waiting for him to summon her every day? What's the saying? Time is like, pretend I didn't say anything. Lin Yi wanted to make a joke, but then he remembered that he wasn't that close with Su Shihan, so it was best not to make this kind of joke. Pervert. Su Shihan heard Lin Yi's words and snorted. "You misunderstood. What I meant was that time is like a sponge that is wet with water. If you squeeze it, water will always come out." Lin Yi said, "How do you know I misunderstood? If you didn't get it wrong, how would you know I got it wrong?" Su Shihan retorted. Lin Yi realized that Su Shihan was indeed a superstar. Her reflexes were extraordinarily fast. No wonder she could remain so calm in the face of so many media interviews. "Okay, can you come?" Lin asked. "This matter is actually very easy to solve. Do you have a computer over there? We can video chat, and then you can call your classmates over. I'll talk to them personally," Su Shihan said. "That's a good idea. Computer." Lin Yi's gaze landed on Bai Weitua's desk. This brat brought a laptop, so he said, "I do." "Then do you have my QQ number? Add me, and then I'll send you a video chat request." Su Shihan said, "My number is 1212. "Okay." Lin Yi wrote down Su Shihan's QQ number and hung up. He said to Bai Weitua, "Go call our classmates over. Then Su Shihan will video chat with them." "That's great." Bai Weitua was overjoyed. He ran out of the dorm to call his classmates. Lin Yi opened Bai Weitua's laptop and logged into his QQ number. Lin Yi rarely used his QQ. He applied for it after he came to Songshan. There were only a few people added on it. Kong Miss, Little Shu, and so on. But Lin Yi didn't really use it, so he was still level 2. Lin Yi added Su Shihan's number. After a while, the verification went through. Lin Yi had a new friend on QQ. It was called Beauty Han. This name made Lin Yi speechless. Wasn't she a bit too narcissistic? Lin Yi? Su Shihan sent a message. She wasn't sure about Lin Yi's identity. Lin Yi's nickname was 01. He had more personality than Su Shihan. "It's me, narcissist." Lin Yi replied. "Narcissist? You're a narcissist?" Su Shihan was confused by Lin Yi's reply. "You are." Lin Yi said, "Look at your QQ name." "What narcissism? I'm a beauty." Su Shihan said matter-of-factly, "Only blind people don't know how to appreciate beauty." Lin Yi smiled bitterly. It seemed like Su Shihan hated him a lot. Hearing footsteps coming from outside the dorm, Lin Yi quickly replied, "Okay, she's here." After that, he quickly closed the chat window. Book Ocean Pavilion. He opened it again. The chat history was gone. Lin Yi didn't want others to know about his relationship with Su Shihan. "Okay, I'll request a video call." Su Shihan replied and sent a video call request. Song Xiaodao and Zhao Xingji were in the other dorms. They saw Bai Weitua's worried face, so they went to the other dorms to pull some strings. Actually, it wasn't that the students in the class didn't want to help, but they didn't have the confidence. Who didn't want their major and their class to shock the world at the school's freshman party? This was a good chance to be famous. These 20 guys were all single. When the class became famous, it would be easier to find a girlfriend. It was just that Zhang Duopan invited a celebrity. So no matter how hard they tried, they weren't on the same level as him. Instead of working hard for half a day and still getting bullied, they might as well just deal with it. But when they heard that Su Shihan was going to video call them, they got excited. Could it be that what Bai Weitua said before was true? He could really invite Su Shihan? And so, these guys immediately swarmed to room 444, and at this time, Lin Yi accepted Su Shihan's video call request. On the computer screen, Su Shirhan, who was wearing casual clothes and no makeup, appeared. Su Shirhan, it's really Su Shirhan. The first guy who rushed into the dorm saw Su Shirhan on the computer screen and screamed. Class leader didn't lie to us. This is the first time I've seen Su Shirhan without makeup. She's so beautiful and pure. Book C Pavilion, target equals _blank. Chapter 1963. Su Shirhan, hello, I'm your loyal fan, I'm Jia Changqing. The boys couldn't wait to greet Su Shirhan. Hello everyone, I'm Su Shirhan. Su Shirhan saw that everyone was here, so she smiled and said, I'm in the recording studio right now. Today, I'm mixing for my new album, so I took a break from my busy schedule to meet everyone. This isn't a pre-recorded interview, right? Panhu Yu couldn't understand why Bai Weiduo was able to invite Su Shirhan. Back then, he invited Su Shirhan with the identity of the Yu family. Not only did he fail, but he also got rejected. This made Yu Panhu very upset. Lin Yi didn't let Bai Weiduo say that he was the one who invited Su Shirhan, so Bai Weiduo could only vaguely say that he was the one who invited Su Shirhan. This was also the reason why no one believed him. He was just a freshman. How could he know a superstar like Su Shirhan? Yeah, Bai Weiduo, is this a pre-recorded interview? Someone heard Coiling Tiger Yu's question and started to suspect. Young Master Coiling Tiger Yu, hello, we meet again. Su Shirhan heard Coiling Tiger Yu's question and smiled faintly. Coiling Tiger Yu didn't expect Su Shirhan to know him and even talk to him. He felt awkward. I was just joking. In front of the class, Coiling Tiger Yu naturally didn't dare to say that he wanted to sleep with Su Shirhan. He laughed and changed the topic. But now, no one doubted that it was a video anymore, because the video didn't have any interaction, and it was impossible to talk to Coiling Tiger Yu. Su Shirhan, I like you so much. Su Shirhan, can I have your autograph? Su Shirhan, what are the songs in your new album? Can you tell us a bit? Su Shirhan, will you really come tomorrow? Will you bring us to the freshman party? When everyone knew that the Su Shirhan in front of them was really Su Shirhan, they couldn't be more excited. One question after another, Su Shirhan couldn't answer. Can everyone calm down for a moment? I understand everyone's feelings, but my time here is limited. It wasn't easy for me to ask my manager for a little leave just now to meet with everyone, so please listen to me, okay? Su Shirhan's voice came again, making the noisy dorm quiet again. Everyone shut their mouths when they heard that Su Shirhan was taking time out of her busy schedule to meet them. As you all know, I was asked by my friend to attend the freshman party with you. However, due to my schedule, I won't be able to arrive in East Ocean City until tomorrow afternoon at the earliest. Therefore, our time is very limited. Su Shirhan said. And if we want to get first place in the freshman party, just my popularity alone isn't enough. We need everyone's cooperation. Otherwise, even if I go on stage, we won't be able to get a high score if we don't work well together, right? Everyone nodded in agreement after hearing Su Shirhan's words. So, I'm going to tell everyone the song I'm going to sing. Everyone practice the harmony part first. When I go tomorrow, I just need to practice a few more times. Do you guys have the confidence to get first place with me? Su Shirhan asked. Most of the guys were Su Shirhan's fans. Even if they weren't, how could they reject such a beautiful girl's invitation? Thus, as soon as Su Shirhan's voice fell, everyone expressed their stance in unison. Okay, since you're confident, then you have to work hard. If we can't get first place, it'll be very embarrassing for me. Su Shirhan said with a smile. Don't worry, we'll definitely work hard. A guy took the lead. It was the guy called Jia Changqing. The rest of the guys saw that someone took the lead, so they naturally didn't want to be outdone. Okay, the song I prepared for everyone is called Story of Youth. It's also one of my most famous songs. There's a lot of harmony and narration, and the whole song is like a drama. I believe that the students who have seen the music video of this song know that it was filmed in a university. What we need to do is to restore the music video of this song to the stage. Su Shirhan said. Story of Youth was just like what Su Shirhan said. The music video was filmed in a university. It was also a drama, singing about the beautiful university life. There was love, friendship, and nervousness before exams. The theme of the song was the epitome of university life. It would be hard not to win an award if it was performed at the freshman party. With Su Shirhan as the original singer and the cooperation of the students, it would definitely cause an unprecedented sensation. What everyone needs to do next is to familiarize yourself with this song, then find a few stunt doubles for the supporting roles in the music video. As for the rest, we can start rehearsing tomorrow. Su Shirhan said. No problem. Don't worry, Su Shirhan. I'm the class monitor, Bai Weitu. I'll definitely complete the task. Bai Weitu was very excited. Su Shirhan was willing to help everyone. Although he knew that it was because of Lin Yi, the person she was helping was him. How could he not be excited? Moreover, He Meiyue's idol was Su Shirhan. Zhang Duopan invited Su Shirhan's junior sister to come. It was also to please He Meiyue. After all, other than Su Shirhan, He Meiyue also liked Cheng. However, with Su Shirhan here, He Meiyue naturally liked Su Shirhan more. Okay, Bai Weitu. Everyone's rehearsal, I'll leave it to you. Su Shirhan said. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to start working here. Everyone do your best. Okay, we'll do our best. Bai Weitu and the students present said in unison. Coiling Tiger Right and the other two were very gloomy. They saw that Bai Weitu was one of Lin Yi's people, so they wanted to create some trouble for him. But now, it seemed like trouble was no longer trouble. So, Coiling Tiger Right and the other two left Lin Yi's dorm. After the video ended, all the medical students were excited and requested to start rehearsing right away. Bai Weitu excitedly downloaded Su Shirhan's Story of Youth music video and played it for everyone to see. Then, he started to pick the supporting characters and cameos from the class. Lin Dage, which role are you going to play? Bai Weitu naturally let Lin Yi choose first. After all, Su Shirhan was invited by Lin. It was reasonable to let him choose first. No one would object. Chapter 1964. Oh, I'll play this role. Book C Pavilion. Lin Yi pointed at a guy in the music video. This was a minor character from the start. He sat in front of the desk and didn't move at all. The girl beside him was also a minor character. Bai Weitu didn't understand why Lin Yi chose this character. There were a lot of minor characters, and Lin Yi only chose one of them. Other than that, there were a lot of supporting characters that followed Su Shirhan. Lin bro, are you sure? Just a minor character? Bai Weitu was surprised. I'm not good at acting. This minor character is good enough, Lin Yi said. Lin Yi didn't have much interest in standing out at the freshman party. Lin Yi didn't flirt with girls, and he didn't do it to please anyone. He only played a minor character because this was a group activity and it was organized by Bai Weitu. It wouldn't be good if he didn't act. Okay. Bai Weitu saw that Lin Yi insisted, so he didn't say anything else. Then, Xinyan's sis-in-law, she's the same as me, a minor character. Lin Yi knew that Xinyan didn't like being in the limelight, so he made the decision for her. Lin Yi basically had nothing to do for the rest of the rehearsal. After saying goodbye to Bai Weitu, Lin Yi left the dorm. When he went downstairs, a figure ran up quickly. If it wasn't for Lin Yi dodging in time, he would have bumped into Lin. Lin Yi didn't want to say anything to this kind of reckless person, but he didn't expect that this person was someone he knew. Lin Yi bro. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi with surprise. Han Jingjing? Why are you in the boys' dorm? Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing strangely. Didn't the girls' dorm not allow boys to enter freely? Did the boys' dorm not have this rule? Didn't you say that you were going to rehearse? Did Bai Weitu call me? Han Jingjing looked at Lin even more strangely. Why aren't you rehearsing? I mean, how did you get into the male dormitory? Didn't the guard at the door stop you? Lin asked. No, why did he stop me? He even smiled at me. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi in confusion. Then you can go up to room 444. I'll be a cameo, so I don't need to rehearse, Lin Yi said. Why don't they rehearse? Han Jingjing asked. There's no why. Lin Yi simply didn't answer her. Otherwise it would be endless. Then I'll play a minor role too, so there's no need to rehearse. Book C Pavilion. Han Jingjing nodded and said, Linny Gidge, where are you going? I'm going home, Linny said. Then I'm going home too. You can drive me back, Han Jingjing said. Let's go. Linny didn't want to reject her. It would be a waste of time. Faubert was leaving in the afternoon. Although Peng Zhan knew that he had found his long-lost wife, there were still a lot of things to do at the company. Faubert had to report back as soon as possible. If it was feasible, he could set up a branch here. That way, Faubert could meet Grandma Sun often. Linny Gidge, you and Wang Xinyan are a couple. Why are you living with Meng Yao and Yushu? Han Jingjing didn't stop talking after getting in the car. First, Wang Xinyan and I are not a couple. Second, it's called sharing, not living together, Lin explained. Oh, then Linny Gidge, you are single? Han Jingjing said happily. That's great. No, I have a girlfriend, Linny said. Then why didn't I see her? Where is she? Han Jingjing asked. That has nothing to do with you, Linny said. Then you and Xinyan sit together every day, and you live with Meng Yao and Yushu. Doesn't your girlfriend get jealous? Han Jingjing asked again. Not jealous? Why do you have so many questions? Linny frowned. Many? Didn't teacher say that if you don't understand something, don't be ashamed to ask? Han Jingjing said innocently. Then ask someone else. Linny said. Chapter 1965. It didn't matter if Grandma Sun could regain her previous strength, Faubert didn't care too much about it. What Faubert cared about was when she could regain her memory. Since you've thought of it, let's try it now. Linny nodded and said, Let's start now. What do you want me to do? Grandma Sun asked quickly. You don't need to do anything, just use your mantra like you normally do, and absorb the chi of heaven and earth. Linny said. But Grandma Sun nodded to show that she understood. Lin Yi, on the other hand, held Grandma Sun's wrist pulse, and started the first level of the art of dragon mastery. However, the familiar feeling of chi flowing into Grandma Sun's body from his hand didn't happen. There seemed to be no exchange of chi between the two of them, which made Lin Yi very confused. Grandma Sun, you didn't use your Nigong mantra? Lin Yi asked curiously. I used it. Grandma Sun nodded and said, I've been using it, but I can't absorb any chi from your body. Something's wrong. Lin Yi frowned and continued to use the art of dragon mastery to convert his universal chi into the same chi as Faubert, but there was still no movement, as if the chi couldn't be absorbed by Grandma Sun at all. Book C Pavilion Net. According to Lin Yi's previous situation, Lin Yi didn't need to deliberately use the art of dragon mastery to convert chi into a specific kind of chi. As long as the recipient of the chi used his own Nigong mantra, the art of dragon mastery would automatically convert the chi into the chi that the recipient needed. But this situation was different now. Not only could Grandma Sun not convert Lin Yi's chi into the chi that she needed, she couldn't even absorb the chi that Lin Yi had converted. It still doesn't work. Grandma Sun shook her head and said, What's going on? I have already transformed my innate chi into the same innate chi as Faubert, but Grandma Sun still can't absorb it. Lin Yi said with a frown. That's a little strange. Faubert was originally full of expectations, but it also turned into a mind full of questions. This was the first time Lin Yi had encountered such a strange situation. In the past, this method of helping others level up had always been successful for Lin Yi, and he had never encountered a situation where it failed. Could it be that the Sun family's mental cultivation method is different from normal cultivation and cannot be improved using your special method? Grandma Sun thought of a very important problem. After all, the Sun family's mental cultivation method is not for cultivation, it is a kind of supplementary mental cultivation method. Support mental cultivation method. I think I figured something out. Let me think about it. Although Lin Yi said this, in his heart he wanted to find Jiao Yazi to verify whether his idea was correct. He pretended to close his eyes and think, but in his heart he asked, Jiao Lao, what's going on? Why is this happening? Isn't my innate chi the universal innate chi? Why doesn't it work on Grandma Sun? Faubert and Grandma Sun saw that Lin Yi was closing his eyes and thinking, so they didn't dare disturb him. They just sat quietly and waited. When Jiao Lao heard Lin Yi's question, he didn't have too many doubts. He just thought for a moment and said, if my deduction is correct, Grandma Sun's mental cultivation method should be to absorb the heaven and earth spiritual qi and transform it into a special form of energy from the Sun family's mental cultivation method. This form of energy can also be transformed into innate qi that Faubert can use through Grandma Sun's mental cultivation method and then transferred to Faubert. But, because of the special nature of her mental cultivation method, she can only absorb the heaven and earth spiritual qi and can't directly absorb your transformed innate qi. Oh, but why can other people directly transfer their transformed innate qi to her? If that's the case, then can I directly transform it into Grandma Sun's unique energy form? Lin asked. I'm afraid that won't work either. The support type of mental cultivation method is not the same as the normal type of mental cultivation method. Her mental cultivation method should only be able to absorb the heaven and earth spiritual qi, and it must be the most primitive heaven and earth spiritual qi that hasn't been transformed in any way. In other words, the pure energy in the jade pendant, as long as it has been transformed, it can't be absorbed anymore. Jiao Lao said, just like you can transfer innate qi to other people, but other people can't transfer innate qi to you. Me? I can, right? General Wei Wu and Tianlei Pig's innate qi is exactly the same as the innate qi in my body. I can use it. Linny said, I'm talking about other people. Did I talk about spirit beasts? Pay attention to people. Jiao Yazi said speechlessly. Is that so? Lin Yi suddenly felt a little awkward. So, other than letting Grandma Sun absorb the heaven and earth spiritual qi or pure energy, other than that, there's no other way to increase her strength? That should be it, of course. You can let me study Sun family's mental cultivation method, and I'll think about other ways. Jiao Lao said. Looks like it won't work for now. Lin Yi nodded. Jiao Lao's deduction was similar to Lin Yi's, but Lin Yi's analysis wasn't as thorough as Jiao Lao's. Jiao Lao explained the reason from the theory, but Lin Yi only roughly guessed the result. Lin Yi opened his eyes and said to Faubert, if my deduction isn't wrong, Grandma Sun's mental cultivation method should be to absorb the heaven and earth spiritual qi and transform it into a special form of energy from Sun family's mental cultivation method and store it in her body. Then, Lin Yi explained Jiao Lao's words to Grandma Sun and Faubert. This kind of learning and applying on the spot made Jiao Yazi look down on Jiao Yazi, but Jiao Yazi didn't say much. He almost never interfered with Lin Yi's daily life, and he was too lazy to interfere. He only guided Lin Yi's path of cultivation. So that's how it is, looks like it won't work. Faubert listened to Lin Yi's explanation, and suddenly felt very disappointed. He couldn't help but sigh and said, in this case, we can only rely on Grandma Sun's own efforts. Li Fu, you don't have to worry too much about it. It's already a good thing to be able to get the Sun family's mental cultivation method and practice it again. It's only a matter of time before you regain your memory. There's no need to rush. Grandma Sun smiled and said, there's still a long way to go. Yes, there's still a long way to go. Faubert nodded and said, I was too anxious. In fact, you have already accepted me again. Think about it carefully, it's not too important whether you regain your memory or not. Lin Yi saw that Faubert and Grandma Sun were very open about it, and he was relieved. Chapter 1966. If Grandma Sun's qi wasn't in her head but in other parts of her meridians, Lin Yi could help to expel it. However, the qi was in her head, so Lin Yi didn't dare to act rashly. He was afraid that it would cause more damage to Grandma Sun's head, so it was better for Grandma Sun to cultivate on her own. Book C Pavilion, Net. After sending off Faubert with Grandma Sun returned to her room to continue cultivating. Now, other than cleaning up the house, Grandma Sun spent the rest of her time cultivating. She found something to do, so she wouldn't be so bored every day. Lin Yi was about to go back to school, but he heard the doorbell outside the villa. Who had come at this time? Obviously, it wasn't Xiao Shu and Xiao Xiao. They were rehearsing in the afternoon. Even if they came back, they had the key. Faubert just left. Could it be that Faubert came back? When he opened the door of the villa, he saw Han Jingjing standing outside. Why are you here? Is there anything else? Lin Yi was a little depressed when he saw Han Jingjing. This girl was too clingy, and she always asked tricky questions that were hard to answer. Lin Yi usually kept his distance from her. I want to get the property certificate. Can you accompany me? Han Jingjing asked. Get the property certificate? Go get it yourself. Do you need someone to accompany you? Lin Yi was a little speechless. She accompanied her to school, she accompanied her to the bathroom, and now she wanted him to accompany her to get the property certificate? My car is at school. How can I go without a car? Han Jingjing said. Book C Pavilion Net. Your car is at school, and you want to come back with me? Is there something wrong with your brain? Lin Yi didn't know what to say after hearing Han Jingjing's words. It saves gas. Han Jingjing said matter-of-factly, if I take your car, wouldn't I be able to save money on gas? You came home just to collect these procedures? Lin Yi glanced at Han Jingjing, who was holding a portfolio in her hand. He also had one, which was given to him by the agent. When the property certificate was issued, he would use these documents to get it from the administrative hall. Han Jingjing nodded. Then why didn't you drive when you knew that you were going to apply for a property certificate? Lin Yi didn't know what to say. Don't I have you? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi strangely. If you drive, why should I drive? Am I stupid? Lin Yi took a deep breath and thought to himself, you're not stupid, I'm stupid. I'm a fool, okay? Shaking his head, Zhang Xian calmed himself down and said, wait a moment, I'll go get my property certificate too. Oh, so you're going to get a property certificate too. Why didn't you say so earlier? I felt a little guilty. Now, you're just taking me there on the way. Han Jingjing said happily. Book C Pavilion Web. Lin Yi pointed at Han Jingjing, but in the end he didn't say anything. Was this girl from planet Namek? Why did she think differently from normal people? So, Lin Yi guessed that it would be useless to tell her, so he might as well not say it. Turning around and entering the villa, Lin Yi took out the portfolio given by the agent. According to the agent, the property certificate would be issued in about half a month, and he could go to the administrative hall to get it. Now that the military training was over, it had been half a month, but Lin Yi wasn't in a hurry. He thought that he would go get it during the weekend, but he didn't expect that Han Jingjing would ruin his plans. After getting in the car, Lin Yi set up the navigation system in the administrative hall and drove out of the Shueshang district with Han Jingjing. You left your car at school, and you don't need to care about it? Lin Yi asked. Yes, so you can accompany me to school at night and get the car back. Also, you can pick up my brother from school. Han Jingjing said. Lin Yi really wanted to slap himself. How could his mouth be so fast? It was just a random topic, but he didn't think that it would cause him trouble. Can't you just let your brother drive it back? Lin Yi suggested. My brother doesn't know how to drive. Han Jingjing said. Then why are you taking my car back? Do you have nothing better to do? Lin Yi almost broke down if it wasn't for the strict training he had gone through. His mental endurance wasn't something a normal person could compare to. Why do you say that? Aren't you going to pick up Yao Yao and Shu tonight? Han Jingjing asked. That's good, they both know how to drive. I'll let them drive your brother's car back. Lin Yi thought about it and agreed. He still had to pick up Meng Yao and Yushu. But Han Jingjing agreed readily. Lin Yi finally breathed out in relief. He was about to say something when Han Jingjing continued, but my brother doesn't have the car keys. We have to give them the car keys. Pretend I didn't say anything. Let's go to school together. With that, Lin Yi shut his mouth and didn't say another word to Han Jingjing. Lin Yi didn't want to die from anger. There weren't many people in the office at this time. Lin Yi parked the car downstairs and got the property certificate with Han Jingjing. It didn't waste much time. Lin Yi was about to go back to the villa when Han Jingjing said, Is there an antique market nearby? Lin Yi bro, can you bring me around? What are you going to the antique market for? Lin Yi asked curiously. I want to buy a cauldron. Han Jingjing said. Cauldron? Why do you want to buy that? Lin Yi frowned, but his heart was slightly shocked. A cauldron was something used by an alchemist. Although this thing was also used by Daoists in ancient times for alchemy, so this kind of thing would sometimes appear in the antique market. But Han Jingjing was a student. Why would she buy a cauldron? To study alchemy. Han Jingjing didn't hide it and told Lin Yi the truth. Alchemy? Linny was shocked. Who was this Han Jingjing? She actually knew about alchemy? Could she be a disciple of some hidden family or ancient sect? Yeah, you don't know about alchemy? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi with an even more strange expression. You came to study medicine but you haven't heard about alchemy? Then do you know what an alchemist is? Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's surprised look and smiled bitterly in his heart. Was the profession of alchemist so common that ordinary people knew about it? You're talking about the legendary refiners in the world of practicing? Lin Yi asked without batting an eyelid. Ah, so Lin Yi bro knows about it too. I knew it. Those who come to Boss Bai to study medicine are more or less the children of their families who are in the pharmaceutical industry. Han Jingjing nodded and said, I want to be an alchemist, so I applied for medicine. Then do you know how to become an alchemist? Lin Yi continued to ask. Chapter 1967. I don't know. Han Jingjing shook her head blankly. Do you know, Lin Yi bro? I don't know either. Book Ocean Pavilion. Lin Yi said faintly. There was no way he'd tell a classmate he'd only known for a few days that he had Zhang Liju's notes. You don't know, what kind of cauldron did you buy? I can study it, Han Jingjing said. Besides, I've found a lot of information about elixir refiners on the internet. I want to study it myself. Besides, I always go to the antique market. Maybe I can find an elixir refiner's practitioner's arts. I see. Go ahead and study it then. Lin Yi didn't say anything. It seemed like this Han Jingjing had heard about elixir refiners from somewhere and started to study elixir making, but she didn't know how to do it. Of course, it'd be weird if she became an elixir refiner that easily. With that thought, Lin Yi let go of his suspicions. Normal people didn't know about practitioners and elixir refiners, but those rich people who hired practitioners as bodyguards would still know about practitioners, and as for elixir refiners, those practitioners would definitely know about them. So it was normal for a rich girl like Han Jingjing to have a practitioner as a bodyguard, and it wasn't hard for her to find out about elixir refiners from her bodyguards, but it seemed like she was obsessed with elixir refiners, and she even applied for a major in university. Han Jingjing nodded heavily. Lin Yi bro, don't you like elixir refiners? I don't know how to do it even if I do, Lin Yi said faintly. Then when I learn it, I can teach Lin Yi bro, and then we can dual practice together. Han Jingjing said. What? Dual cultivation? Lin Yi coughed twice, shocked by Han Jingjing's words. Yeah, isn't practicing elixir refiners together dual practice? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi, confused. Alright, when you learn it, I'll dual cultivate with you. Lin Yi was too lazy to explain too much to Han Jingjing. This little girl had probably become stupid from studying alchemy and herbs since she was a child. If he explained too much to her, she would definitely ask why, so Lin Yi decided not to explain. And that's great. Then, big brother Lin Yi, it's a deal. It's a deal. Han Jingjing stuck out her little finger. What? Lin Yi frowned. Pinky promise. Han Jingjing said, only pinky promise can guarantee that you are not lying. Okay. Pinky promise. Seeing that Han Jingjing was going to talk endlessly again, Lin Yi quickly interrupted her, stretched out his little finger to hook with her, perfunctorily completed the task. Book C Pavilion Net. Pinky promise. You can't change it, Han Jingjing said. No change. Can we go now? Lin Yi started the car and said helplessly. No, aren't we going to the antique market now? I want to study alchemy, so I have to buy a medicine cauldron. If I don't study, how can I teach you? Big brother Lin, you won't not support me, right? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi pitifully and asked, we have pinky promise. Lin Yi looked at the time and found that there was still a lot of time before school ended, so he nodded and said, okay, then let's just walk around. The antique market in Donghai City was located near the Dongtian Gate. Lin Yi had never been here before. He could only rely on the direction of the GPS to come to one of the largest antique market in Donghai City and even the entire province. Because Donghai was a provincial capital, the antique market in Donghai City was much larger than other cities. Lin Yi parked the car in the parking lot of the antique market. The parking fee was 20 yuan, which made Lin Yi feel a little cheated. This antique market was really something for the rich to play. Even the parking fee was more expensive than other places. Fortunately, Lin didn't care about this little money. After parking the car, he walked into the antique market with Han Jingjing. The antique market was very big. There were all kinds of things for sale. There were all kinds of things, real and fake. It was difficult to buy the real thing if one wasn't an expert. However, Lin Yi wasn't interested in buying antiques. There were so many treasures in the ancient tomb, but Lin Yi didn't take any of them away, let alone spend money to buy these things. What Han Jingjing wanted to buy was a medicine cauldron. This kind of thing wasn't common. Generally, it depended on luck. However, there were many imitations. It was just that the material of this kind of thing wasn't much different from the real thing. It was either cast iron or copper, which was enough for a junior alchemist. The two of them came with a purpose. Lin Yi had the idea of looking around casually, while Han Jingjing was specifically looking for a medicine cauldron. Therefore, the two of them were basically looking around. After walking through more than half of the market, Han Jingjing finally found a stall that specialized in selling medicine cauldrons. How much is this medicine cauldron? Han Jingjing directly picked up a cast iron medicine cauldron that looked similar and asked. This was used by the Ming dynasty's celestial protector, Daoist Zhang. When the seller saw Han Jingjing's dress, he knew that she was a rich girl. She probably didn't know anything about antiques, so he directly started to bluff. Big brother Lin Yi, is this person stupid? I asked him how much is he selling it. Why did he say so many inexplicable words? Han Jingjing put down the medicine cauldron and said to Lin, "AI? Little girl, how can you talk like that? Who are you calling stupid?" When the stall owner heard Han Jingjing scolding him, he suddenly became a little unhappy. Big brother Lin Yi, look at this person. Not only is he stupid, but he also doesn't know his place. The things he sells are definitely not good. Let's go to someone else's shop and have a look. Han Jingjing turned around and was ready to leave. Wait, don't go. I'm not telling you the origin of the medicine cauldron. If you don't want to listen, we can talk about the price. When the stall owner saw that Han Jingjing was about to leave, he immediately became anxious and quickly stopped her. Big brother Lin, let's go. Han Jingjing was determined to leave. Lin Yi was helpless. He had to turn around and follow. However, before the two of them could walk far, two burly men blocked their way. What do you want? Han Jingjing looked at the two big men in front of her vigilantly. You want to leave after breaking the medicine cauldron? It's not that easy. One of the big men said coldly. They were punks in this area. The merchants in this antique market all paid them protection fees. Naturally, they would help these people solve some problems. It was a mutually beneficial thing. Just now, the stall owner was scolded by Han Jingjing. He was already a little unhappy. Seeing that the business that was in his hands was gone, he naturally felt even more uncomfortable. So, he found two punks to teach Lin Yi and Han Jingjing a lesson. In the stall owner's view, both of them were dressed like students. Han Jingjing was also wearing famous brands. With one look, he could tell that they were rich people. It was naturally not difficult to squeeze some money from them. Chapter 1968. Moreover, the medicine cauldron that Han Jingjing picked up just happened to have a corner missing. In fact, it was deliberately made like this to show that it was old. It was an antique work of art, but at this moment, it was a good opportunity to blackmail. Book C Pavilion / broke the medicine cauldron? You mean the one just now? I just picked it up and looked at it? Han Jingjing knew that these two people were deliberately sent by the stall owner to make things difficult for her. There was a trace of panic in her eyes, but when she thought that Lin Yi was by her side, she felt more at ease. Whether it is broken or not, we will know when we go back. The other man made a gesture and said, Please, don't make things difficult for us. Then let's go back and have a look. Lin Yi didn't put these two people in his eyes at all. Lin Yi had other plans when he went back. The stall that sold medicine cauldrons was quite complete. If Han Jingjing didn't leave, Lin Yi also planned to take one back to study and practice. This antique market was very big, and Lin Yi didn't have the mood to continue shopping. Moreover, Lin Yi also saw that there was no real treasure here. Looking at the customers coming and going, there were many experts among them. If there was a good thing, it would have been taken away by them. Moreover, Lin Yi didn't expect to get what he needed here. Han Jingjing listened to Lin Yi and naturally didn't refuse. She turned around with Lin Yi and returned to the previous stall under the escort of the two men. Little girl, this medicine cauldron, when you put it in, you broke a corner. Isn't it a bit inappropriate to leave like this? The stall owner naturally couldn't blatantly blackmail. After all, he was a local resident here. He didn't dare to be too extreme. If these two students didn't know what was good for them and called the police or went to the market management office, then he would be in trouble. Broken? Han Jingjing frowned. The stall owner picked up the medicine cauldron and pointed to the ear on the side of the medicine cauldron. Indeed, there was a broken ear. Did I do this? Han Jingjing looked at the hole on the cauldron in surprise. This is an antique. Naturally, it has to be handled with care. You just threw it on the table with a bang, so it's normal for a corner to be broken, the stall owner explained. Brother Lin, am I that powerful? You can break the cauldron? Han Jingjing looked at her hand and said in surprise. Oh, what do you want to do? Lin Yi ignored Han Jingjing and looked at the stall owner indifferently. He asked. This medicine cauldron was the Ming dynasty's celestial protector. The stall owner began to talk non-stop. It's not wrong to say that you're stupid. I asked you what you want to do, and you're not answering my question? Lin Yi interrupted the stall owner impatiently and asked coldly. Big brother Lin Yi, you can also see that this stall owner is stupid? See, I'm right. When Han Jingjing heard that Lin Yi agreed with her point of view, she immediately became very happy. The stall owner snorted coldly, but he wasn't in the mood to care about this. His main purpose was to extort, not to quarrel, so he said directly, this medicine cauldron is 50,000 yuan. Take out the money. It has been broken by you, so I can only sell it to you. Lin Yi picked up the medicine cauldron, and a mocking smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. This medicine cauldron is from the Ming dynasty? Only 50,000 yuan? That's really cheap. I say, boss, is there something wrong with your brain? The stall owner quoted 50,000 yuan, which was already a sky-high price among imitations. The normal price of this thing was only a few hundred yuan. He wanted 50,000 yuan, which was already a lot. He didn't expect the other party to think that it was too little. The boss was wrong just now. It's 500,000 yuan. The macho man behind Lin Yi suddenly said, 500,000 yuan, not a single portion less. Hurry up and take out the money, or we'll be in trouble. When the boss heard the macho man's words, he was suddenly happy. Although he knew that even if he got the 500,000 yuan, he would probably have to share it with these two people. He estimated that he had to give half to these two people, but he could get 250,000 yuan, which was a lot more than the previous 50,000 yuan, so he immediately said, yes, it's 500,000 yuan. I was wrong just now. 500,000 yuan. You mean that if I give you 500,000 yuan, this medicine cauldron will belong to me? Lin Yi weighed the medicine cauldron in his hand and asked. Of course. The stall owner nodded and replied. Oh, since it's mine, then I can deal with this medicine cauldron however I want. As Lin Yi said this, he squeezed his hand. The originally solid cast iron medicine cauldron couldn't even be compared to mud in Lin Yi's hand. It was directly squeezed into an iron ball by Lin. Then, with a pung sound, he threw it on the table. The quality of your medicine cauldron is so bad, and you said that we broke it? It can be crushed with just a squeeze, and you dare to ask for 500,000 yuan? When the stall owner saw that Lin Yi suddenly squeezed the medicine cauldron into a piece of iron, he was immediately dumbfounded and couldn't say a word. And the two macho men behind Lin Yi's face changed. Although these two men were gangsters from a nearby gang, there was also a master in the early phase of the golden class in the gang. Crushing the medicine cauldron, that master could also do it, but he was the most powerful existence in the gang, even the gang leader respected him. But this young man in front of them actually had such strength. How could this not surprise these two gangsters? They weren't fools. The move that Lin Yi showed just now was obviously intentional. If they didn't know what was good for them, they would probably be beaten up. This kind of ruthless person that even the gang leader respected, how could they dare to offend? I have eyes but failed to recognize MT Tai. Both of you are from a noble family, right? I'm sorry if I offended you just now. One of the macho men quickly cupped his fist at Lin Yi, then pulled the other macho man and prepared to leave. And the other macho man gave the stall owner a look, lowered his voice and said, "Old Wang, did you see wrongly? How could these two young masters and young mistresses deliberately destroy your broken medicine cauldron? It's just 50 yuan of trash. Even if they broke it, it's giving you face." After that, the two of them quickly left. Anyway, they had already hinted to the stall owner that if he didn't be careful and offended someone, then it wasn't something that these two punks could solve. In fact, at the moment when Lin Yi crushed the medicine cauldron, the stall owner knew that he had kicked an iron plate. Looking at the reaction of the two gangsters, the stall owner was even more afraid. It turned out that these two were ruthless people. If he had known this earlier, he wouldn't have extorted them. I was just joking just now. This medicine cauldron is only 50 yuan, it's not worth mentioning. In the blink of an eye, the 500,000 yuan medicine cauldron became 50 yuan, but the stall owner's expression was very natural, as if he didn't mention 500,000 yuan at all. I called the two of you here to apologize. These medicine cauldrons are all imitations. I said that they were from the Ming dynasty, but that was bullsh*t. In order to express my apology, the two of you can just take a few medicine cauldrons. If you like this work, I welcome you to come to Starting Point and vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1969. Really? Han Jingjing was overjoyed when she heard that it was free. You're not that stupid. Hee, of course, we can't always be stupid, right? After hearing what you said, I was enlightened. I'm not stupid anymore, so you're my great benefactor. You can pick whatever you want. In order to avoid trouble, the stall owner tried his best to please Lin Yi and Han Jingjing. Book C Pavilion / The two hoodlums had made it very clear that these two might be from noble houses. There were many noble houses in Donghai, but no matter which one, even if it was the Kong family that hadn't become a noble house yet, they could easily deal with an antique seller like him. So naturally, he didn't dare to offend them. Han Jingjing picked a bronze cauldron that looked good, and Lin Yi also randomly picked one to study. But when they left, Lin Yi still gave the stall owner 200 yuan because Lin Yi didn't want to take advantage of him. 200 yuan was the cost of these two cauldrons plus the one he broke earlier. After sending the two away, the stall owner wiped his sweat. He thought to himself, I can't scam people anymore. I almost got into trouble today. Luckily, I was smart, and those two didn't want to teach me a lesson. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll be in danger. After buying the cauldrons, Lin Yi didn't want to continue looking around, and Han Jingjing's goal was the cauldron. So the two left the antique market and went straight to school. It was almost time for school to end. Donghai Industry University. The news spread very fast in the school. Especially the news that Su Shihan was going to attend the freshman party. Naturally, the news spread throughout the school in no time. Although everyone was doubtful about this news, the medical students all patted their chests confidently, claiming that they had already video chatted with Su Shihan, and Su Shihan had personally chosen the performance for them in the video. Not only that, Su Shihan was coming tomorrow, and she would rehearse with them and go to the freshman party together. Also, the class leader of the medical major, Bai Weiao, said on the school's BBS that this was actually a challenge. His performance was all for a girl he liked. Bai Weiao simply wrote down the bet between him and Zhang Duopan on the BBS. The purpose of this was to prevent Zhang Duopan from going back on his word and not admitting it. Of course. More importantly, it was to win He Meiyue's favor. Bai Weiao's writing was very emotional. He said that his true feelings for He Meiyue had touched Su Shihan, so Su Shihan helped him after knowing that He Meiyue was his fan. Although this theory was very far-fetched, let's not talk about how Bai Weiao knew Su Shihan. Even if he managed to contact Su Shihan wouldn't come to the freshman party for a stranger, right? If Su Shihan was this kind, then there would be things to do every day, and she wouldn't have to do anything else. But even so, some people were moved by Bai Weiao's true feelings, and He Meiyue was one of them. Meiyue, this Bai Weiao is really considerate. He knows that you're Su Shihan's fan and he actually invited Su Shihan here. He even made a public post saying that it was for you. Xiaoling said excitedly. Sigh, isn't it all because of Zhang Duopan? I wonder how much Bai Weidua paid to invite Su Shihan this time. He Meiyue wasn't stupid. She knew that Bai Weidua couldn't have invited Su Shihan because he was moved by her or something. One had to know that Su Shihan's appearance fee was sky high. And normal people couldn't even invite her. And this time, if it wasn't for Zhang Duopan inviting Su Shihan's junior sister Chengyi to the freshman party, Bai Weidua wouldn't have invited Su Shihan. Now, in order to suppress Zhang Duopan, he could only grit his teeth and invite a celebrity. He Meiyue didn't know how much Bai Weidua spent, but Zhang Duopan used his family's connections to find Chengyi. He still spent 200,000 in appearance fee, and that was the price of a favor. One had to know. Chengyi was just a celebrity, she couldn't be compared to Su Shihan. If it wasn't for her junior sister Su Shihan's halo, probably not many people would know her. Moreover, just singing a song on stage would cost 200,000 yuan. This price was really not low. It could be seen that Zhang Duopan spent a lot of money. Bai Weidua invited Su Shihan. From He Meiyue's point of view, at least 1 million would be spent, and even 1 million would be hard to invite. Although He Meiyue knew that Bai Weidua's roommate, Lin Yi, seemed to be very rich, she didn't want Bai Weidua to owe Lin Yi too much. Among the many pursuers, He Meiyue had high hopes for Bai Weidua. So, if she really chose Bai Weidua, naturally, she didn't want Bai Weidua to owe too much, because He Meiyue wasn't a person who liked to owe others. Meiyue, you don't seem very happy? If someone performed for me, I'd be so happy, but that Zhao Xingji guy, other than being fat and inviting me to dinner, he doesn't know anything. Chai Xiaoling said enviously. Man, I hope it's like you. Do you think it's a good thing to have a guy fighting for you? He Meiyue shook her head. As the two were talking, Wang Xinyan pushed the door open and entered the room. Chai Xiaoling saw Wang Xinyan and immediately said excitedly, Xinyan, how is it? Don't tell me your class really invited Su Shihan? Originally, Chai Xiaoling could have called Zhao Xingji, but she and Zhao Xingji hadn't confirmed their relationship yet, so she didn't want to be so proactive. Coincidentally, Wang Xinyan came back, so she asked Wang Xinyan. You guys know too? Wang Xinyan also just got the news. She received Bai Weidua's call and went to Lin Yi's room, but Lin Yi wasn't there yet. So, Wang Xinyan followed Lin Yi's arrangement and learned how to perform a small role. Now that she just came back, she heard the discussion of her roommates. These people sure got the news fast. Of course, Wang Xinyan still didn't know that Bai Weidua couldn't wait to declare war. The school's BBS is spreading, it seems like it's true? Chai Xiaoling said excitedly, last time Su Shihan held a concert in Songshan, I really regret not going. It was about to be the college entrance exam, otherwise I would have definitely gone. This time, Su Shihan can attend the freshman party, it's such a good opportunity, I finally got to see Su Shihan in person. Yeah, I regretted not going, but it's about to be the college entrance exam, who can take a leave? He Meiyue said regretfully, this time, it's hard for Bai Weidua. Alright, Xinyan, you're close with Lin Yi. This time Su Shihan came to the freshman party, did he help her? How much did he actually spend? If you like this work, you're welcome to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Target equals, Chapter 1970. He knows Su Shihan? Even if he knows her, he can't just come like that, can he? He Meiyue said shocked. How good is he to be able to invite her without spending money? I don't know about that because I didn't ask. Xinyan shook her head. But since he's here, there's no need to feel pressured. Lin Yi won't try to impress himself. Xinyan knew Lin Yi very well. She knew that Lin Yi wasn't someone who would let himself get the short end of the stick when they met on the train. People cheated him, but he took all their money. So, this Su Shihan thing shouldn't be too difficult. But what Xinyan didn't know was that Lin Yi treated his friends very well. Even if it was difficult, Lin Yi would still try to help. But Lin Yi wouldn't do something like that. That's good. He Meiyue nodded. While the school was boiling with excitement, Zhang Duopan's face was as dark as a pig's liver as he sat in the rehearsal room, smoking. Motherfucker, Bai Weitua actually invited Su Shirhan? If we invite Qingyi, even if she can get a place, she won't be a match for Bai Weitua. Zhang Duopan cursed. This time, he was 100% sure that he would win. With Cheng Yi on the stage, at least the first place of the singing competition would be his. Most of the student council members in charge of voting would vote for them. After all, they had to give face to celebrities. But now, the first place was probably Su Shirhan, and the second place was Cheng Yi. Although second place was already a great result, in Zhang Duopan's eyes, it was as ugly as it could be. This was simply a slap in the face. Brother Zhang, it can't be that they're just creating hype, right? Fan Ganha also frowned as he browsed the school on his phone. The post on the S forum hesitantly said, "Then they will use this incident to destroy our morale and make us give up on our own accord?" I don't think so. As long as Bai Weitua isn't crazy, he wouldn't use such a despicable method. Otherwise, even if he succeeded, our morale would be affected and we would have to give up our performance. He Meiwe would look down on him. Zhang Duopan shook his head and said, "This matter is most likely true, but how did they invite them? We spent 200,000 to invite Cheng Yi, and that's because your dad's company asked her to endorse a product before, so they gave her a discount. How come Su Shirhan's appearance isn't more than $1 million?" Fan Ganha asked suspiciously. "I don't know, but that Lin Yi seems to be a rich man. Maybe he paid for it," Zhang Duopan said. "That bastard, I'll beat him to death sooner or later." Fan Ganha was furious when he heard Lin Yi's name. Last time in the cafeteria, he wanted to beat Lin Yi up, but the instructor came before he could do anything. He didn't have the chance to do anything, which made him very frustrated. "Cheng Yi will be here tonight. I'll ask her and see if this is true or not. Su Shirhan is her Shiji from the same sect. She should know about this," Zhang Duopan said. "Then do we continue practicing?" Fan Ganha asked. "Of course, how can we not practice? When Cheng Yi comes, we'll continue to practice. Even if we lose, we have to lose with dignity. If we give up, then he Meiwe will look down on us even more." Zhang Duopan snorted. "Then if you lose, Brother Zhang, won't you have to give up?" Fan Ganha asked worriedly. "That's fine. We'll just say that the bet was made when we drank too much last time. Everything was because we were drunk. I don't think he Meiwe will say anything," Zhang Duopan said. "But if I give up directly, then he Meiwe will think that I'm afraid. That's different. Brother Zhang, you're so smart," Fan Ganha said with admiration. "Of course, I'm going to take over the family's company in the future. I can't do it without some intelligence," Zhang Duopan said proudly. Lin Yi didn't know that the school was in an uproar because of Su Shirhan's incident. He parked the car in the school parking lot, and Han Jingjing seemed to be interested in Su, EF equals. Book C Pavilion net Shirhan didn't seem to be interested. She didn't even mention it on the way. After parking the car, Lin Yi sent a message to Mississippi. Han Jingjing was also contacting her brother. Not long after, Meng Yao and Yushu came. He didn't expect Han Xiaoqiao to follow behind them like a little follower. "You're not getting off?" Lin Yi turned to Han Jingjing and asked. "Why should I get off? Aren't you going home?" Han Jingjing asked. "Home, but don't you want to drive your own car?" Lin Yi pointed at the X5M not far away. "No, it's a lot of gas. My brother and I will go back in your car," Han Jingjing said matter-of-factly. "Okay." Lin Yi was already used to Han Jingjing. He really didn't want to say anything more. Meng Yao and Yushu walked over. Yushu was originally sitting in the front passenger seat, but she frowned when she saw that it was taken by Han Jingjing. She was a little unhappy. Han Jingjing seemed to see Yushu's displeasure as well. She took the initiative to get off the car. "I'll sit in the back." Since Han Jingjing said so, Meng Yao and Yushu didn't say anything more. Although they were hitchhikers, they were still neighbors. After driving home, Han Jingjing brought Han Xiaoqiao back to their villa. Lin Yi, Meng Yao, and Yushu went back as well. "Lin Yi, I heard you invited Su Shirhan?" Meng Yao. "Yeah." Lin Yi said and told Meng Yao and Yushu about helping Bai Weitua chase He Meiwe. "You sure have the mood to help someone else get girls." Meng Yao didn't get angry when she heard that Lin Yi was helping someone else. "Oh, I thought Shield Bro was trying to get on that Fox Yan's good side. Yushu said. Man, why would I do that? Besides, she's not called Fox Yan. Linny said. She's seducing Shield Bro. She's called Fox Yan. Yushu said. Alright, Shu, I told you not to give people nicknames. It's easy to offend people. Mengyao didn't know why, but she didn't want to offend Xinyan. Perhaps Xinyan could really become Lin Yi's first wife? Chapter 1971. If that was the case, then the three would have to spend a lot of time together. If they really offended each other, then there would be no turning back. Oh. Yushu nodded unwillingly. Right, Faubert left already? Mengyao didn't see Faubert when she walked into the villa. She only saw Grandma's son working in the kitchen. Yes, he left in the afternoon. Report the results to Uncle Chu. If it's possible, we'll set up a company branch here. Lin said. Mengyao nodded and didn't say anything else. She turned to the cauldron in Lin Yi's hand and asked, What's that? I saw Han Jingjing holding something similar in her hand just now. Cauldron. I'm going to study alchemy. Han Jingjing seems to be interested in it as well. Lin said. Mengyao didn't ask anything else after hearing that it was about alchemy. Grandma's son quickly placed the delicious dishes on the table. Mengyao and Lin Yi finally understood why a scavenger like Grandma's son could be so good at cooking. She used to be Faubert's wife, the Miss of House Sunday. She used to be the daughter of a rich family. Marrying into Faubert's sect meant marrying into a rich family. She must have received professional training on housekeeping. After dinner, Lin Yi went back to his room. Grandma's son cleaned up the dishes and went back to her room as well. Mengyao and Yushu sat on the sofa in the living room watching TV. Why is Shield Bro here every day? He doesn't even play with us. Yushu hugged her legs as she sat on the sofa. She suddenly felt bored. The cartoons that made her laugh didn't seem that funny anymore. Was this what it felt like to grow up? In the blink of an eye, she was already a university student. Her high school days were still vivid in her mind. Isn't he always like this? Mengyao shook her head. When we were in Songshan, didn't he go to dinner every day? It was just that we were more nervous every day. We'd study and read books after dinner. We didn't have much time to watch TV. That's true. We're just too free now. Yushu said in boredom, Yao Yao, we haven't played in Donghai yet. Why don't we go out for a walk? Today? It's too late. Let's do it on the weekend, after the freshman's gala. Mengyao was a little tired, and she didn't want to go out again. Lin Yi obviously went out, so she didn't want to disturb Lin. All right. Yushu nodded disappointedly. After Lin Yi went back to his room, he read House Sun's arts to Jiao Yazi and started studying the cauldron he just bought. This kind of cauldron was more than enough for a first-level Huang-class refiner, because there was a limit to the amount of elixirs a Huang-class refiner could concoct, so they didn't need a cauldron that was too good. But the problem was that Lin Yi wasn't even a first-level Huang-class refiner. He could only condense the elixir fire, but he couldn't change the temperature or the intensity of the fire. With a slight change, the elixir fire would be extinguished. Lin Yi practiced a few more times, but the result was the same. He could only put the cauldron aside in disappointment. He was a genius in other people's eyes, but in reality, he wasn't much of a genius at all. The only thing he relied on was the art of dragon mastery and the jade space. If it weren't for the art of dragon mastery, Lin Yi would just be a very average talent. He was still a golden class master at 18 years old. Compared to those hidden houses and ancient sects, he was an idiot. So Lin Yi didn't force himself and put the cauldron aside. It was just that Lin Yi was worried about Xiao Xiao. 2 years seemed like a long time, but it had already been half a year. There was still a year and a half left, and if she couldn't learn alchemy by then Xiao Xiao would really become an inheritor. After entering the jade space, Lin Yi prepared to continue. There was a saying, hard work makes up for one's lack of talent. Lin Yi was already too far behind Crystal Candy, so he could only rely on hard work and the unique environment in the jade space to catch up. Jiao Lao, how is it? Did you see anything from the arts? Lin Yi asked casually. I did. Jiao Yazi's answer surprised Lin Yi. He thought that Jiao Yazi wouldn't be able to see anything in such a short time, but he really did? What? Lin Yi blinked. This is an incomplete, simplified, and improved first stage of the art of dragon mastery. Jiao Yazi said.
What?
Lin Yi heard Jiao Yazi's words, and his eyes went wide.
What?
House Sun's arts is the art of dragon mastery? Maybe it's from the same source, or maybe it's just a coincidence. This technique should be similar to the first level of the art of dragon mastery, but there are many parts that are incomplete, or simplified, but improved. Jiao Yazi nodded and said, the first level of the art of dragon mastery allows one to transfer pure qi to others, repair meridians and heal injuries. All of these are in the Sun family's techniques, but the art of dragon mastery can only be used by men. EF equals fastest text update book C Pavilion. No advertising, however. The formula is suitable for both men and women. Ah? The improved version of the art of dragon mastery? How could the Sun family have such a thing? Isn't the art of dragon mastery unique? Lin Yi was shocked after hearing Jiao Yazi's words. Who said it's unique? The art of dragon mastery, in ancient times, was the mantra of the Yellow Emperor's tribe. However, it evolved into a sect, and with the passage of time, this sect became like Chiyo's chrysanthemum treasured book, gradually declining until it was lost. Jiao Yazi said, the ancestor of House Sun might have been one of these sects, but he was talented and only received the incomplete first level of the art of dragon mastery. After improving it himself, it became the Sun family's technique today. So you're saying that my art of dragon mastery isn't unique? Lin Yi said as realization dawned on him. Of course not, but it should have been lost. Otherwise, the Sun family's technique wouldn't be incomplete and only have the first level of the improved version. Jiao Lao said. I see. Jiao Lao's words surprised Lin Yi. The Sun family actually had this kind of opportunity, and the ancestor of House Sun must have been an amazing person. With just the first level of the incomplete technique, he could improve the Sun family's technique. He could be described as a genius. Chapter 1972. What a waste of time. There are many extraordinary people in this world. You should be able to feel it. Your talent is actually very ordinary, but you are luckier than them. You have the space of the jade pendant, and also the art of dragon mastery. Jiao Lao said mercilessly, of course, someone like Bingtang who reached the peak of the late phase of the heaven class at the age of 10 might not be a genius. If you entered the jade space 10 years earlier, you would have reached the heaven class already. So, many things are coincidental. This art of dragon mastery was obtained by Uncle Master by accident. That's why it became your destiny. Elder Jiao, why's the way you talk these days? It's almost like you're talking about some kind of zen? Lin Yi said, looking at Elder Jiao oddly. It's nothing. I'm just reminding you not to be too proud. You have to be down to earth, Jiao Lao said faintly, but you can also practice the Sun family's technique. It's not too difficult. I can practice it? Wouldn't that waste a lot of time? What's the point of practicing it? Lin Yi asked. It's useless. Your first level of the art of dragon mastery can do everything it can do. But this woman can do it too, Jiao Yazi said. Damn, then why would I waste my time? Lin Yi was speechless. He closed his eyes and ignored Jiao Lao. He knew he was fooled. A flight slowly landed at the airport of East Ocean City, and a girl with tan skin and oversized sunglasses walked out of the domestic arrival gate in a low-key manner. Zhang Duopan and Fan Ganhe, who were standing not far away, immediately walked up to her. Cheng. Equals fastest text update, book C Pavilion, no ads. Zhang Duopan wanted to call Cheng Yi, but he was afraid that others would hear him and watch. After all, Cheng Yi was a celebrity with a little fame. If she attracted the attention of the media, it would be hard for her to get away. This wheat-skinned girl was Cheng Yi. Her skin color looked very healthy and beautiful. This should be the effect of some kind of light, giving people a wild beauty. Compared to Su Shirhan's pure white skin, it was even more eye-catching. That was why she instantly gained a lot of popularity after her debut. This was also related to her skin color, which was why she was called the Coffee Girl. Hello, young Master Pan. Cheng Yi also saw Zhang Duopan and walked over quickly. She was the spokesperson of Zhang Duopan's father's company. Naturally, She had seen Zhang Duopan several times at the company's parties and had some impression of him. Miss Cheng, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy schedule to help me, Zhang Duopan said as he extended his hand. Cheng Yi didn't have the intention to shake hands with him. It could be seen that she wasn't a casual person. So when she saw Zhang Duopan extend his hand, she very naturally passed her luggage to him and smiled. Then I'll have to trouble young Master Pan. Zhang Duopan was slightly stunned. He wanted to shake hands with Cheng Yi, but Cheng Yi seemed to have misunderstood his meaning. She gave him her luggage, as if she had taken the initiative to ask for help with the bag. However, Zhang Duopan naturally couldn't refuse. He only paused for a moment and took Cheng Yi's luggage. This is what I should do. However, his heart wasn't without regret. Although he knew that it wasn't very possible between him and Cheng Yi, this kind of thing wasn't something a rich young master like him could do. Moreover, it seemed that Cheng Yi wasn't the type of female celebrity that relied on this kind of method to make money and become famous. With Su Shihan's halo, she didn't need to do these things at all. She could slowly become famous normally. However, Zhang Duopan still wanted to get closer to Cheng Yi. After all, he was also very lecherous. It was just that Cheng Yi didn't let him succeed, so he didn't continue. He didn't forget that the main purpose of inviting Cheng Yi was to please He Meiyue and compete with Bai Weituo. If he wanted to chase after Cheng Yi, then it would be putting the cart before the horse. In the end, it was very likely that he wouldn't be able to chase after Cheng Yi, and He Meiyue wouldn't be able to catch up. Therefore, he wasn't that impulsive. He pulled Cheng Yi's luggage and left the airport with her. They got on the Land Rover Aurora that was parked in the parking lot. Thank you so much this time. You really helped me out. Zhang Duopan got into the driver's seat and said to Cheng Yi, who was sitting in the back seat. It's okay. You're Mr. Zhang's son, and I'm the spokesperson of Mr. Zhang. This little bit of help is nothing. Cheng Yi said generously. However, young Master Pan said before that it might be a bit difficult to get first place in the singing category. Even if I'm a celebrity, your Donghai Industry University is one of the best universities in the province. There will always be someone stronger than you. Oh, that's right. Now that you mention this matter, I just remembered something very important. Zhang Duopan's face changed slightly and became very serious. It's like this. Originally, it wouldn't be a problem for us to get first place, but my opponent, the guy that I told you about, the guy that I want to beat, actually used his connections to invite your senior sister. My senior sister? Cheng Yi froze and didn't know how to react. It's Su Shihan. Fan Ganha added. They invited Su Shihan too? Cheng Yi froze. How can my senior sister participate in this kind of small event? As far as I know, she basically doesn't participate in all kinds of events. Miss Yi, you don't know about this? Zhang Duopan also froze. I'm also very confused. I don't know if it's true or not, so I'm asking you for confirmation. But looking at how confident they are, it seems like it's 80% true. Because their classmates said that they already video called Su Shihan, and Su Shihan already arranged a program for them in the video. If that's the case, then I'll ask. Cheng Yi nodded and took out her phone to call Su Shihan. Because of Lin Yi's matter, Su Shihan kept her phone with her and didn't leave it with her manager, Wang Jia. When the phone rang, she picked it up immediately. Why are you calling at this time? Su Shihan was a bit confused. Why did Cheng Yi call so late at night? Senior sister, I just arrived in Donghai City. I heard that you're coming too? Cheng Yi asked. What? You're in Donghai City too? Su Shihan was even more confused. I'm going to Donghai City tomorrow, but why are you in Donghai City too? And how do you know that I'm going too? Target equals _blank. Chapter 1973. What a coincidence. I was invited by a friend to attend the freshman party of Donghai Industry University, but he said that you were also invited to help another class put on a show. So it's true. Cheng Yi said in surprise. Senior sister, I thought you never attend these kinds of events. This time it was a good friend who invited me, so I had no choice but to go. Shihan smiled. Plus, I've been too busy with work lately, it's good to go out and get some fresh air. Then aren't you afraid that you might get sick? Cheng Yi wanted to say that she had a headache, but then she remembered that there were outsiders in the car. Only the people in the company knew that Shirhan had headaches. She was Shirhan's junior sister, so of course she knew about it, but it was better to be subtle. Book C Pavilion Net. Then I have medicine Miracle Dr. Guan's painkiller, you know. Shirhan said. No wonder you support them so much. Cheng Yi nodded. Oh right, us sisters haven't played together in a long time, let's use this opportunity to go out and have some fun. That's good, I'm flying tomorrow afternoon. Which hotel are you staying at? I'll go find you. Book C Pavilion. Su Shirhan agreed without hesitation. She had a good relationship with this junior martial sister. Both of them were pure girls, so Su Shirhan liked to hang out with her. As for the other stars in the company, some were jealous of Shirhan's results, so they were fake when they hung out with her. Some were that type of girls, and Shirhan didn't want to be too close with them. I haven't reached the hotel yet, I'm on the way. How about this, I'll book a double room, we can stay together. Cheng Yi said. Okay, but tomorrow I'll go with my bodyguard driver, Feng Sanhuang, you can book a room for him too. Shirhan said. You're bringing a bodyguard driver? That's so inconvenient, there's only 2 of us girls, how are we going to stay if you bring a man? It'll be troublesome to go shopping. Cheng Yi complained, plus, we don't have a car, so we don't need to bring him, my friend here has a car. Plus, what danger would there be here? We're attending private events. That works too. Su Shirhan thought about it. Lin Yi had a car, but she wasn't going to bring a car, so Sanhuang wouldn't be of much use. She nodded. Then I'll go by myself. And I'll wait for you, Cheng Yi said. After hanging up the phone, Cheng Yi shrugged and said to Zhang Duopan, Young Master Pan, senior sister really came this time, so I'm afraid it's impossible for me to help you get first place. So, are we still going to participate in the performance? Of course. Zhang Duopan had already expected this result. He believed that Su Shirhan would come back tomorrow. He just wanted to confirm it with Cheng Yi. He wasn't too disappointed. Of course, if we can't get first place, it's because we're not as popular as your senior sister. It's not that we don't work hard, but if we don't participate, it's a matter of attitude. You're quite open-minded. I'll help you then. Cheng Yi nodded. The best hotel near the school was Shui Shang Hotel. Zhang Duopan booked a double presidential suite for Cheng Yi here. It wasn't as luxurious as a 5-star hotel, but it was the best in this hotel. Luckily, Cheng Yi didn't mind it and checked in right away. Zhang Duopan didn't bother Cheng Yi anymore. He promised her that he would pick her up tomorrow and go to the school to rehearse the show. He then left the hotel. Su Shirhan originally planned to go to East Ocean City with Sister Wang and Feng Sanhuang, but Cheng Yi was there as well. She thought that Cheng Yi was right, and it was meaningless to bring a driver and manager to a private event. Therefore, she booked her own ticket online. In the ancient house of Feng Tianhu sat quietly on the bed. Feng Nitian's injuries were very serious. His meridians were all broken, and he was like a vegetable right now. He had fainted after the Ice Palace test and hadn't woken up since. House Feng had also stopped supplying Nitian with the best herbs and treasures. This was because in the ancient houses, profit was the most important thing. Nitian wouldn't be able to recover no matter how many treasures he ate. Even if he used the Great Recover Pill and the Meridian Opening Pill, he would only be able to become a normal healthy person, but the damaged meridians wouldn't be able to recover completely. It was impossible for him to continue practicing. Even the alchemists from the Sky Elixir sect couldn't do anything. And so, Feng Tianhu was very angry. Nitian was his only hope. Although he had a son, his son's potential was far from Nitian's. His son only knew how to enjoy life, and he wasn't a good cultivator at all, of course. Although House Feng had given up on Nitian, Feng Tianhu hadn't. On one hand, he sent people to find the person who hurt Nitian, and on the other hand, he sent people to find a miracle doctor or medicine that could cure Nitian. Of course, he knew that the resources he had were limited. If he wanted to find a large amount of medicine and cure Nitian at all costs, he had to climb up to the peak of power in House Feng. He had to become the young master of the house, and only then would he be able to use more resources. Only then would he be able to cure Nitian. Feng Lin, it's not your son who's injured, and yet you're making sarcastic remarks in a family meeting. If I don't cause you some trouble, then I'll be letting you off too easily. Feng Tianhu shook his head and said faintly, however, just as he finished speaking, the phone rang. Feng Tianhu picked it up, and it was a deep male voice. This man was called Feng Sanku, and he was Feng Tianhu's follower. He was also the spy he sent to the common world to gather information. He was one of the more outstanding third-generation disciples of House Feng, and he was at the peak of the late phase of the mystic class. Back then, the hidden houses had an agreement that Earth-class experts couldn't casually come out into the world. Although it was a rule set by the hidden houses, it was a condition set by the Hidden Houses Arbitration Association. The Grand Elder of the Hidden House was someone who could fight against the ancient sects, and the founder was even more terrifying. Even the ancient sects and ancient houses had to treat him with respect. Although he had already left, the ancient sects still didn't send any Earth-class experts to the common world because of his reputation. But now, it was different. Since the hidden houses had broken the rule and sent out their Earth-class masters without any punishment or restrictions, the Hidden House Association didn't do anything. Chapter 1974. Therefore, Feng Tianhu started to think about sending an Earth-rank master out as well. Sometimes, Feng Tianhu even wondered if the founder of the Hidden House Association was already dead. Otherwise, why hadn't there been any news for so many years? And not only that, even the Grand Elder had disappeared. Feng Tianhu shook his head and decided not to think about it. He picked up the phone and said, "Sanku, what's up?" "Boss, there's news. Su Shihan went to Donghai City alone to participate in a private event. Feng Sanhuang won't be following, she's alone." Sanka said, "Book Ocean Pavilion Net." "Okay, I got it. Your news is very timely, very good." Feng Tianhu sneered and hung up the phone. He thought to himself, "Second brother, this time I will let you have a taste of losing your own flesh and blood. Hee, if I tell this news to second sister-in-law, will she send someone to kill that girl?" Feng Sanhuang, who was beside Su Shihan, was the same as Feng Sanku, an excellent third-generation disciple of the ancient Feng house. He was also at the peak of the late phase of the mystic class, but he was the follower of the current heir, Feng Tianlin, and Su Shihan was Feng Tianlin's illegitimate daughter. With the help of Feng Tianlin, the young master of an ancient noble house, it was understandable that Su Shihan's path to stardom was smooth sailing. Ancient noble houses were existences that even hidden noble houses didn't dare to offend. But Feng Tianlin had always thought that he was very secretive, and no one knew that Su Shihan was his illegitimate daughter. But what he didn't know was that Feng Tianhu had already investigated this matter thoroughly, and not only did Feng Tianhu know, even Feng Tianlin's wife knew. The reason why Feng Tianlin's wife didn't make a move was because Su Shihan was a girl, and it wouldn't affect her son's succession as the third head of the family. The other reason was because Feng Sanhuang was always by her side. It wasn't impossible for an ancient noble house to send an Earth class to the common world, but there was an agreement between the hidden noble houses. She didn't want to go against that agreement just because of Su Shihan. Sanhuang was a disciple of the Feng family, and he knew everyone in the Feng family. At that time, if they sent people to kill Su Shihan but didn't kill Feng Sanhuang, then Feng Sanhuang would definitely report it to Feng Tianlin. Even Feng Tianlin's wife wouldn't dare to go too far. Book C Pavilion, Net. But this time, it was a good opportunity. Feng Tianhu didn't mind causing some trouble for Feng Tianlin. At the same time, he could also deal a blow to Feng Tianlin so that he wouldn't have time to compete with him for the position of the head of the family. Thinking of this, Feng Tianhu got up and walked towards the second branch. The next morning, Lin Yi came out of the space in the jade pendant, feeling refreshed. He stretched his body. It was another beautiful day. The second stage of the art of dragon mastery was different from the increase in strength. The cultivation of the art of dragon mastery was a normal process of accumulating pure qi. Only through continuous accumulation of pure qi could one reach a higher level. However, there was no barrier like the level of strength. Perhaps it was because the first two stages were easier, but whether the later stages were easier or not, he didn't know. Anyway, every morning when Lin Yi came out of the space in the jade pendant, he could feel his improvement. Unknowingly, the second stage of the art of dragon mastery was about 1/5 of the progress, which was 20%. Lin Yi was quite satisfied with this progress. It hadn't been long and he was already 1/5 of the way. Although the speed wasn't uniform, it would get slower and slower, but it was still much easier than the first stage. Lin Yi washed his face and went to the kitchen. Most of the time, Lin Yi cooked breakfast himself. Although Grandma Sun was there, Lin Yi was used to making breakfast for the Miss and Shu. It was a habit he brought with him from Songshan, and he couldn't change it even if he wanted to. Grandma Sun sometimes saw Lin Yi making breakfast, so she didn't disturb him. When breakfast was ready, the Miss and Shu woke up. Yushu saw that it was Lin Yi who made breakfast today, and she was very happy. Wow, I haven't eaten Shield Bro's food in a long time. It's great that I have something to eat today. Meng Yao gave Yushu a kick. Why was this girl talking so flirtatiously? It's been a long time since I've eaten Shield Bro's food. What do you want to eat? This reminded Meng Yao of Jiangwen's condor cake or something. What's wrong? Yao Yao, don't you like Shield Bro's breakfast? Yushu asked curiously, why did you kick me? I'm just telling the truth. I like it too, hurry up and eat. Meng Yao didn't want to explain anymore. She sat down and picked up the chopsticks and started eating. That's weird. Why is Yao Yao acting crazy so early in the morning? Is she on her period? No, it's around the same time as me, we're together. I'm not on my period yet. Yushu mumbled to herself. Shu, go play somewhere else if you're not eating. Meng Yao almost went berserk after hearing Yushu's words. I'm eating, Yushu said. There were signs of her period coming, but why was it early? Could it be that Yao Yao sis had sex with Shield Bro secretly, and then took birth control pills? Yushu thought wickedly. After breakfast, Lin Yi and the other two got ready to go to school. They didn't want to call Han Jingjing and Xiao Chao, but their X5M wasn't back yet, so Lin Yi knocked on the fence of the villa, believing that Han Jingjing could hear them. As expected, Han Jingjing brought Han Xiao Chao out of the villa, but Han Jingjing's eyes were red as if she didn't sleep well the whole night. This surprised Lin. Jingjing, what's wrong? You didn't sleep well? Meng Yao saw Han Jingjing's face and asked curiously. I was studying alchemy last night, and I lost track of time. It's already morning, Han Jingjing said, a little embarrassed. You studied it the whole night? What did you find out? Meng Yao asked, surprised. She didn't think that a girl like Han Jingjing would be so interested in alchemy. I didn't find anything. Han Jingjing felt even more embarrassed when she said that. Meng Yao paused, not knowing what to say. Lin Yi, on the other hand, smiled bitterly and shook his head. It seemed that Han Jingjing was also a dabbler, thinking the same thing whenever she wanted. After driving to school, they separated at the parking lot. Lin Yi and Han Jingjing walked to the biology building. Chapter 1975. Lin Yi bro, do you know how to cultivate a refinement fire? Han Jingjing asked excitedly as they walked. Book Ocean Pavilion, net. I don't know, Lin Yi said. Looks like I'll have to go buy a training manual, Han Jingjing said. Buy one. Lin Yi was speechless. Right, I'll ask Mr. Bai later, see if he knows where to buy it. Han Jingjing clenched her fist as if she had just thought of a good idea. When he arrived at the classroom, the students in the class were excitedly discussing the program for the freshman party. Bai Weitua, on the other hand, was excitedly rehearsing with a few minor characters according to the music video on his phone. He looked like he was in full swing. Wang Xinyan, on the other hand, sat in her seat, quietly reading her book, as if this had nothing to do with her. She was the same as Lin Yi, acting as an extra in the show, so she didn't need to rehearse. All she had to do was sit in her seat and sing a few harmonies. Lin Yi walked over and sat beside Wang Xinyan, while Han Jingjing sat behind them. The only two girls in the class didn't want to be the main character. This made Bai Weitua feel helpless, but there was nothing he could do. One of the girls had an ambiguous relationship with Lin Yi, and the other didn't seem to be interested in Su Shirhan. This made Bai Weitua helpless. Book Ocean Pavilion, net. Seeing Lin Yi come in, she could only walk over and beg, Lin bro, can you give me one? Give you what? Lin Yi blinked. A beauty. Bai Weitua said. Beauty? Lin Yi looked at Xinyan, then at Han Jingjing. You're letting them act in the show? Lin Yi is so smart, that's right. Bai Weitua nodded. You two, who wants to act? Lin Yi asked. I'll be like you, a cameo. Xinyan said faintly as she flipped through the textbook in her hand. What about you? Lin Yi turned to look at Han Jingjing. However, Han Jingjing did not answer directly. Instead, she turned to look at Bai Weitua and asked, Do you know alchemy? Bai Weitua was surprised. He didn't expect Han Jingjing to bring up this topic. He hesitated for a moment, but he still shook his head and said, I won't. Oh, then forget it. I want to study alchemy. I don't have time. Han Jingjing shook her head and rejected Bai Weitua's suggestion. Book C Pavilion, net. Bai Weitua sighed. He wanted to say something, but in the end he didn't. He smiled bitterly at Lin Yi and continued to lead the students to rehearse. But the good thing was that even if there weren't two girls as the main characters, there was still Su Shihan, the female lead. So when these guys surrounded her, it was like stars surrounding the moon. It was a different kind of charm. When it was about 8 o'clock, Boss Bai walked into the classroom. Bai Weitua also stopped rehearsing. After seeing Boss Bai, he quickly said, Professor Bai. In school, Bai Weitua always called Boss Bai Professor Bai or Teacher Bai. You guys are rehearsing? Boss Bai saw the lively scene in the classroom and asked. Yes, Professor Bai. Bai Weitua nodded and said, In that case, we'll cancel the classes in the morning. You guys can continue with your rehearsals. There are no classes today and tomorrow. You guys should strive to get a good ranking for our Faculty of Medicine during the freshmen's evening party tomorrow night. Boss Bai directly made the decision to cancel the class. A medical major hasn't won an award for several years. It's all because of that little bastard Bai Weikai. His ability is too weak. You're not bad. Actually, it's all Brother Lin's credit. Bai Weitua didn't dare to take all the credit and quickly said. Boss Bai looked at Lin Yi deeply and said to him, Lin Yi, after the freshman party, come find me. Have you thought about what I told you before? Before? Lin Yi was slightly stunned. He thought that Boss Bai was going to teach him some special medical skills, but what exactly was this medical skill? At this moment, Lin Yi's view of Boss Bai was completely different. Before, in Lin Yi's opinion, no matter how powerful Boss Bai was, he was just a character similar to Old Man Lin. However, since Lin Yi saw Yu Coiling Tiger's respect for Boss Bai and his respectful and serious attitude in class, it made Lin Yi feel that Boss Bai was really not ordinary. The Hidden Yu family was a big hidden family in alchemy and medicine. Their children were actually studying here so humbly, so how could Boss Bai be ordinary? After listening to Boss Bai's class, Lin Yi also had a refreshing feeling. Many of Boss Bai's theories were different from Old Man Lin's. Although both of them were right, their directions were different, which broadened Lin Yi's thinking a lot and increased his knowledge a lot. Just the basic knowledge was already like this, so what special medical skills would Boss Bai be talking about? Thinking of this, Lin Yi couldn't help but look forward to it. Thinking back to the beginning, Lin Yi didn't take it seriously, but now it seemed that he had underestimated Boss Bai. Okay, after the freshman party, I'll find a time to go and find you. Lin Yi nodded and said. Hearing Lin Yi agree, Boss Bai chuckled and was very happy in his heart. He thought, Kid, weren't you not interested in it at the beginning? Now after listening to a few of my classes, you think it's different, right? Although he didn't know why Boss Bai was looking for Lin Yi, after Yu Coiling Tiger heard it, a look of envy and jealousy flashed across his eyes. He had wanted to visit Boss Bai alone for a long time, but he never had the chance. He didn't expect Boss Bai to take the initiative to invite Lin Yi to find him. This made Yu Coiling Tiger think if he should also visit after the freshman party. Boss Bai didn't invite him, but if he went, he couldn't drive him away, right? After Boss Bai finished speaking, he turned around and left, while Bai Weitua continued to rehearse with the students. Yu Coiling Tiger and his two color-haired subordinates didn't perform or cause trouble, so they sat there as ordinary extras like Lin. Bai Weitua knew that these three guys were not sociable, so he didn't deliberately ask them to do anything. In fact, if it weren't for Boss Bai, Yu Coiling Tiger wouldn't even bother to participate. But in Boss Bai's territory, he wanted to learn more knowledge, so he naturally couldn't go too far. If he didn't participate, wouldn't it be disrespecting Boss Bai? Moreover, it wasn't troublesome to act as an extra. All he had to do was sit there and hum a few times to harmonize. It was quite simple. The morning passed quickly, and it was time for lunch break. Chapter 1976. Su Shihan's flight was at 1 p.m., and Lin Yi was going to the airport to pick her up. Lin Yi told Xinyan about it and sent a message to Miss and Shu before driving to the airport. Book Ocean Pavilion, net. It was around 11 p.m., and it would be about time for Lin Yi to reach the airport. Of course, other than Lin Yi's car, there was also a Land Rover Aurora. It was driven by Zhang Duopan, and he brought Qing Yi to the airport. At the arrival gate, Lin Yi accidentally saw Zhang Duopan and a girl with sunglasses. Zhang Duopan also saw Lin Yi, and he was even more certain that Su Shihan was invited by Lin Yi, because in room 444, only Lin Yi had a car. Although it looked low-key, only he had the ability to do so. It seemed like it was true. Since they saw each other, and they had the same goal, Zhang Duopan naturally put on a fake smile and walked over. Isn't this Lin Yi? What's wrong, coming to the airport to pick someone up? Lin Yi was confused when he saw Zhang Duopan, and he looked at the girl beside him. Lin Yi immediately guessed something. Was this girl the coffee girl, Qing Yi? But Lin Yi didn't follow celebrities, and he didn't even know the famous Su Shihan. How could he know a small celebrity who just debuted? But since she was Su Shihan's junior, it was normal for her to pick Su Shihan up. Aren't you asking the obvious? Lin Yi said faintly. What's so great about inviting Su Shihan? Even if he won, it's not by Weitua's strength. He might not admit it, and the bet won't count. Zhang Duopan's face changed. He couldn't beat Su Shihan in the freshman party, and so Zhang Duopan started to push the blame away. Really? I don't know who broke the rules first and invited a celebrity. If you didn't invite them, we naturally wouldn't have invited them either. Lin Yi looked at Zhang Duopan with a smile that wasn't a smile. This kid really didn't keep his word. Now he was going back on his words. Zhang Duopan was rendered speechless by Lin Yi, but what Lin Yi said was right. Indeed, he invited the celebrity first, so he couldn't say anything. He could only snort and say, since relying on others doesn't count, then everyone doesn't count. It's useless for you to say this to me. You can talk to Himeiwe. Lin Yi said indifferently. Book C Pavilion, net. Whether or not Zhang Duopan went back on his word had nothing to do with Lin. If he wanted to shamelessly go back on his word, then Lin Yi couldn't do anything about it. At most, he could let Bai Weitua talk to Himeiwe. Don't think that you invited Su Shihan. Let me tell you, Su Shihan will leave with Qing Yi later. I think you came here for nothing. Zhang Duopan snorted. Lin Yi replied. Seeing that Lin Yi didn't care about him, Zhang Duopan was even angrier. He felt like he was playing the lute to a cow. He snorted and walked towards Qing Yi, ignoring Lin. After a while, Su Shihan's flight information was broadcasted. The flight had already landed, and there would probably be passengers coming out in a while. Sure enough, not long after, a group of people walked out of the exit. In this group, there was a person wearing a black trench coat, a black cap, oversized sunglasses, and an oversized scarf. If it wasn't for the figure, it was hard to tell whether it was a man or a woman. This person was obviously Su Shihan. She was much more disguised than Qing Yi, but Su Shihan was much more famous than Qing Yi, so her armor was much tighter. Qing Yi was more familiar with Su Shihan. She immediately recognized Su Shihan and waved at her. Han sis. Shihan also saw Qing Yi and nodded to her with a smile. Qing Yi didn't call Su Shihan by her name. She only called her sister Han, so no one in the airport would think too much about it. Su Shihan also saw Lin Yi not far away. She was a bit surprised that Lin Yi came to pick her up. She thought that Lin Yi wouldn't come because this guy never came to pick her up. Whether she came to endorse products or to support Lin Yi's products, she came by herself. So this time, she didn't think that Lin Yi would come to pick her up. Lin Yi? You actually came? Su Shihan was very surprised. And you didn't bring a driver this time, nor did you bring a manager. Of course, I came to pick you up. Lin Yi nodded. How rare. Then let's go, I'm staying at Shueshang Hotel. Yi already booked a room for me. Su Shihan said. Su Shihan's words obviously meant that she was going to leave with Lin Yi. This made Zhang Duopan feel a bit embarrassed. He just swore to Lin Yi that he came for nothing, but from the looks of it, Su Shihan seemed to be very friendly towards Lin Yi. What was the relationship between these two? It didn't seem to be a simple hire. Senior sister, take our car later? Let's go to the hotel directly. We don't need to trouble your friend, right? Cheng Yi saw that Zhang Duopan was unhappy, and she didn't mind helping him. This was just a small matter to her. No need, I'll take Lin Yi's car. Su Shihan smiled and said, see you at the hotel later. That's fine too. Cheng Yi was also slightly dazed. Su Shihan actually rejected? What was the relationship between her and Lin Yi? Normally, in the company, when attending events, Su Shihan would often ride in the same car as her. Even if they weren't in the same car, Su Shihan would gladly agree if she invited her, but today, Su Shihan rejected. Seeing that Cheng Yi was rejected, Zhang Duopan's face darkened even more. It seemed that picking her up at the airport was a bit unnecessary. Out of the airport, the two cars went on the highway one after another. Zhang Duopan was unhappy and didn't wait for Lin. He stepped on the gas and the car flew out, speeding all the way back to the hotel. What is the relationship between that Lin Yi and Su Shihan? Why does he look like a good person? He doesn't even give you face? Zhang Duopan was very unhappy and complained. Hee, maybe they're very good friends? Cheng Yi wasn't angry and instead sent a text. The signal here doesn't seem to be very good. There might be a shield near the airport? Zhang Duopan said, you want to use a phone? You can use mine, I have a signal. Thanks, no need. I'll just send a text and tell the people in the company that I've picked up senior sister. Cheng Yi waved her hand and said, Chapter 1977. Ah, looks like Su Shihan really wanted to help them. Now I don't even have the slightest bit of confidence. This is so annoying. Zhang Duopan said. Book C Pavilion Net. There's nothing we can do about it. Sister Han is a big shot. It's good enough that we got second prize. Cheng Yi didn't care. Lin Yi didn't care about Zhang Duopan's speed at all. He didn't even chase after him. Instead, he drove at a constant speed on the airport highway. Under normal circumstances, Lin Yi wouldn't break the rules if it wasn't something important. Thank you for coming to our classes program despite your busy schedule. Lin Yi said to Su Shihan. Now I know that your appearance fee isn't low. Cheng Yi has connections, and she asked for 200,000. You're asking for more than her, right? That's right. Normally, I wouldn't go even if they paid me 1 or 2 million. Su Shihan said. I'm here because of you. It seems like my face is quite big. Lin Yi said. That's right. Do you think I'd go if someone asked me? Not to mention not paying, I wouldn't go even if they paid. Su Shihan said. Ta. Lin Yi smiled, but his face suddenly changed. The smile on his face turned serious as he said to Shihan, Danger! Don't move! Su Shihan was startled. She didn't know what Lin Yi was talking about. But at the same time, 2 black Audi A6 dashed through the iron fence in the middle of the road. The iron fence was not far from Lin Yi's car, and the 2 A6 quickly stopped in front of Lin Yi's car. This sudden change made Su Shihan scream. Lin Yi seemed to be very calm and stopped the car. Behind Lin Yi, 2 Audi A6 drove over, sandwiching Lin Yi's car in the middle. Lin Yi couldn't move forward or backward. The reason why Lin Yi knew there was danger was because of the warning signal from the Jade. So Lin Yi knew in advance that danger was coming. Don't move in the car. Lin Yi looked at one of the 2 Audi A6 and frowned. The other 3 cars didn't matter to him, but the person in this car surprised Lin. A mystic late phase peak. Although to Lin Yi, this was nothing. He was already an Earth class master. Mystic class masters were like ants in his eyes. It was easy to stomp them to death. But this wasn't so simple. Who was the one who sent this mystic class late phase peak? Lin Yi didn't think that it was sent by his enemies. Unless they were stupid, they wouldn't send a mystic late phase peak master to die. Last time, there were 3 Earth class masters, and one of them was a late phase Earth class master, but Lin Yi burned them to ashes. Would they dare to send a mystic? That wasn't realistic. Book C Pavilion Net. But if it wasn't sent by them, then who sent it? Could it be a robbery? But robbery? He hadn't heard of a robbery on the highway at the airport. And Lin Yi's car was very low-key. It was a Grand Cherokee. It didn't blink. Lin Yi clearly saw a Rolls-Royce drive by, but he didn't see them rob it. And if it was just a simple robbery, wouldn't it be too wasteful to send a mystic late-phase peak master? But all these guesses were pointless. After Lin Yi told Su Shihan, he got out of the car. The mystic late-phase peak master didn't move. Instead, 3 men in black suits got out of the other 3 cars. They pointed their guns at Lin. "Kid, tell the people in the car to get out. Otherwise, don't blame us for shooting you." People in the car? Lin Yi was startled. Were these people trying to kidnap Su Shihan? It didn't seem like they were targeting him. Otherwise, no matter how powerful an enemy was, they wouldn't send 3 normal people with guns to aim at an Earth-class master, unless they were crazy. "Shut up and do it," a man in black scolded. "You're here for Su Shihan? Who sent you? Tell me and I won't kill you." Lin Yi looked at the man in black and said indifferently, "Kid, you want to kill us?" The man in black thought that he had misheard and immediately laughed loudly. "You mean, you can kill us? Is that so?" "Yes, since you missed the chance, there's no need to say any more." Lin Yi's hand shook, and a silver needle shot out, sinking into the man's chest. The man didn't even make a sound before falling to the ground. Lin Yi didn't even need to use pure qi to kill the man in black because he was just a normal person. At most, he was a cultivator who had just stepped into the door of martial arts. He wasn't even a golden class master. The other 2 people sucked in a breath of cold air. They didn't think that this person would do it without any hesitation. The scariest thing was that they didn't see it clearly. They didn't know how Lin Yi killed the man in black. "Who are you?" One of the 2 men in black asked. "It's your turn. Who sent you?" Lin Yi asked. "Who are you? Why are you here?" The man in black asked nervously. "You've also lost your value." Lin Yi shook his wrist, and the second man in black fell to the ground. The 3rd man in black was stunned. He still did not know how his 2 companions died, so he subconsciously stuttered a little. After saying the word a few times, he hurriedly looked at the Audi A6 beside him and said, "Brother San, there's something wrong, please save me quickly." Actually, there was no need for the 3rd man to speak. The man in black in the Audi A6 couldn't sit still anymore. He opened the door and got out of the car. It was a man wearing a black mask. The 3 people before didn't have their faces covered. Only a pair of cold eyes could be seen. He looked at Lin Yi coldly and said condescendingly, "It seems that he values Miss Su quite a bit. He also sent a driver here. But your strength isn't enough. Although you have flying needles, you haven't cultivated pure qi yet.